plane right now. She'll land at 10.
Are you going back up tonight?
I'm going to right off the show, yeah. I haven't listened all of this, so I'll start like 11:45.
Oh, yeah, okay, because if you were going to go back up,
I'll take Dean.
was it taking 2 feet?
the end of the thing, I did 200 push-ups.
How many pull-ups?
But I don't do pull-ups frequent. I do the sissy one. I got the weight assist. I can't just do pull-ups.
Oh, come on.
Dude, I like 2 fucking 20. You can pull 220 up. I can sit down and do like lap pulls down. I'm like 140. I'm like, man, this is fucking great. And I try to move my fat ass like that far. It don't fucking work, right?
When the gym I go to, there's
It's been a busy morning already with multiple contenders in major divisions of the Breeders' Cup hitting the track already at Churchill Downs, Keeneland, Santa Anita, and of course right here at Del Mar. So serve up those eggs on your toast with avocado. We're serving you a 49 2/2 mile from Ben Tornado. It's breakfast at the Breeders' Cup. We had a pair of Baffert workers yesterday, and we're going to have two more today. Nisos, the ultra-talented runner who's last seen in the San Diego, will be hitting the track with seismic beauty as well. Another one for Bob Baffert in the distaff division, and of course, all things sovereignty when we get to it. As we take a look at horses preparing for today's works here on Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup. Seismic Beauty, of course, already with a win here at Del Mar in the Clement L. Hirsch, going to be putting in the final touches on her preparations for the Breeders' Cup. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Joyce, joined here on set by Simon Bray and Joe Talamo. As always, the sun is just starting to peek over the horizon as we start the day. Simon, we started yesterday. The thing you wanted to talk about was sovereignty. Day two, what's on your mind?
I'm looking forward to Johannes, actually. You know, a horse that was second in the Breeders' Cup Mile last year. He had a disappointing return at Saratoga middle of the summer, and then he bounced back with a good win in the City of Hope Mile. Wasn't a strong race, but it was a race that could propel him and move him forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, how he's come out of that race, how he's going to work. And I think as of last year, he proved that he fits with this group. So he's a live contender to me.
Joe Talamo, day two of Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup. They're still not serving breakfast, but what are you serving up for the audience today?
I'm really looking forward to Full Serrano. He's the defending champion in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. His only loss here at Del Mar was in the Pacific Classic, going a mile and a quarter. Other than that, he's 3 for 3, going a mile. And I just think he's really coming into this race in good fashion. He is going to work today, so I'm really looking forward to that. And you could see him right here when he won. I just really powered away, and I just think he loves this mile distance, and he's really set up for a big effort.
So that's what these two are looking forward to. I love you guys, but this show is made by our reporters, and we are spanning the country to make sure we get you all the action. Of course, we're going to be live at Keeneland and Churchill Downs as we take a look at where all of our crew are. Kate and Breda are at Churchill today. Scott Hazelton back out at Keeneland. We're also going to have Andy Biancone and Joaquin right here at Del Mar, and Michelle Yu at Santa Anita. But first, let's start with Andy Biancone.
Good morning, Mike, Simon, Joe. We're starting our morning trackside here. A lot of Breeders' Cup contenders have already hit the track. Sovereignty, very similar to yesterday, backed up to about the same spot, stood, and just went for a nice, easy gallop at his own pace. I do think he's going to walk in the paddock tomorrow before he gallops and should work on Monday, but he looked fantastic, was getting over the track beautifully. It's amazing. He's got 4 white polos, and as soon as you see him go by, he almost doesn't have a fleck of dirt on those polos because that's how good he's getting across the track. But we do have a couple workers expected today, and standing by with those workers is Joaquin Jaime.
Hey, Andy, good morning to you. Yeah, we're back here at the barn of Richard Baltus, who pre-entered 2 horses in the Breeders' Cup this year. One of them is right behind me. That is Sweet As Tekka. She's going to be running in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, and she's going to be one of your top choices in that race, maybe even the favorite in that race. She is going to be running in the Filly and Mare Sprint, and she's going to have her final workout for that coming up at 7:45. A little bit down the shed row, you find another gray. That is going to be AG Bullet. She just missed in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint a year ago. She's going to be working later on in the show. That is going to be on the grass. That is going to be happening at 9:30. So that is the very latest from the Richard Baltus barn. I'm going to make my way over to Michael McCarthy's and get an update on journalism to find out what he did this morning. So for now, we send you over to Michelle Yu at Santa Anita.
But maybe not the Well, we are in the middle of turf workers right now here at Keeneland Racecourse, which means it's Wesley Ward time here at Keeneland. We also had an early morning workout from Prang out of the Robbie Medina barn. Program training worked at 9 o'clock. And then in between that at 7:30, Ben Tornado put together a sterling workout. We'll hear from Jose D'Angelo Caton later on in the show.
Scott, it was busy times at Churchill Downs as well here at the Brendan Walsh barn, where Cleico was one of 6 Churchill Downs-based horses to put in their final Breeders' Cup Series preparations this morning. Brendan actually has horses at 3 different Kentucky racetracks, but they, with the rest of the Kentucky contingent, will be shipping out today, tomorrow, and Monday with the last group that will include Brad Cox's pair, Stellifi, among the horses who breezed this morning in those final tune-ups. Trainers all had to be happy that they got those workouts in before the weather turned. It was actually a little warmer this morning and really great conditions. Not so much right now, as a little bit of sprinkling is happening, but doesn't matter because California weather, guys, is soon ahead.
I know. I want to just warm you up there, Kate. And she's been freezing the last 2 days. You deserve a trip to California. We'll see you in a little bit. But all of these horses coming to California a little bit. Today's a big day. Today and tomorrow, we're going to see a bulk of these Breeders' Cup horses put in the very final work before they ship. Yeah, I mean, we're 6-7 days out right now, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Right? Today and tomorrow are the days where you don't want to do too much. If you go too fast, that could be that race. But then again, you don't want to go too slow either. So it's really kind of that finite moment where it has to be absolutely perfect. Yeah, going to be busy. I mean, look at the sheet here. Over 30, 40 workers on there just for today. So, yeah, it's going to be fast and furious this morning. It's a nightmare for someone who's colorblind, by the way. At any rate, we will have all this action. We're going to talk about Sovereignty each and every day because he is looming as the favorite to be horse of the year. He's going to be the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He's the first horse to win the Derby, the Jim Dandy, the Derby, the Belmont, the Jim Dandy, and the Travers in the same year. And he is the star of stars as this crop goes, and one of the most competitive 3-year-old crops we've seen in a long time. Yeah, and as I mentioned yesterday, he's just going to become only the 7th horse to win the Derby and the Breeders' Cup Classic. And I'll repeat the names again because it really is rarefied air. I mean, Ferdinand, Alashiba, Sunday Silence, Unbridled, American Pharaoh. The most recent, Authentic, which I'll put an asterisk next to because that was in the COVID year when the Derby was run in the fall. So, but I mean, you take Authentic out and those other 5 horses. I mean, and that's an amazing group of horses that he would join here, and he deserves it. I mean, look at him here. He's just an absolute beast. Well, and physically, you don't need to be an expert to know that this is one of the most majestic-looking thoroughbreds in the game. I always say that. With really good horses, you can take somebody off the street and they'll pick him out in a heartbeat. Like American Pharaoh, when he worked here as a 3-year-old, biomechanically one of the best movers I've ever seen. I mean, you know, somebody that doesn't look at horses can pick him out. You could look at Sovereignty and say, he's a standout. Yeah, Joe, how much would you give to ride a horse like that one time, huh? Quite a bit, Mike. Yeah, and to Simon's point, I mean, just look at him. Physically, absolute beast. And the scary part, as good as he looked for the Kentucky Derby, I think he's even better now. I think he's bigger, stronger. I think he's put on weight. I don't know whether, if Bill, I don't think Bill weighs his horses, but yeah, just looking at him on video, I mean, look at him here. He is... The rider can't move. I mean, if he smooches to him or if he drops his hands, he's going to take off. He would take off. Well, he just looks strong. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the first word I think of when I see him. He's just so well put together. But there's girth about every part of his body, his legs, his shoulder, his hind quarters. There's nothing about him that looks slight in any way. And look at his coat, too. I mean, just so shiny, healthy. And what I like about it, too, out there, you could tell he's just very happy, pricking his ears back and forth, just really enjoying what he's doing out there. Absolute Italian astronaut, a specimen. Wow. I like it. Wow. Don't let Umberto Rispoli hear that joke. Let's get out to Churchill Downs with Kate and Bradar.
Hey, guys, I'm with Cleico. Brendan Walsh is one of 2 for the distaff. And Cleico breezed this morning after the 7:15 renovation break. She went in 48 flat in company. Joe Rocco Jr. was aboard. He describes her as smooth. He said if there's one word to describe her, it's smooth. But Brendan was commenting on how professional she is, how she shows she's a good horse. By the way, she goes out, does her work, comes back, doesn't take a deep breath, eats up all her feed, and in fact, he threw in an extra scoop for her. She's a very good doer, he says, and that's interesting because she actually has a bit of an overbite. It's referred to as a parrot mouth, and you can see that some horses have some problems with it. For her, it's more cosmetic than anything. And certainly pretty is as pretty does, as she is 4 for 5 lifetime with back-to-back graded stakes races, her most recent in the cotillion. She's doing just as good as ever, according to Brendan. Certainly has something to prove as she faces older horses for the first time. But you can also see that she's a filly who enjoys a little bit of attention. She's very sweet and kind and doesn't mind people even poking a little fun of her. Good sport all the way around. Cleico in the distaff is one I'm going to be rooting for sure.
I think you can do more than root. I think you can bet. She is a super talented mare, and you can see she's an absolute sweetheart. This is the kind of stuff I love seeing when Caton or Andy or anyone gets down and they're in the barn with the horses. And look, I mean, Cleico, her resume speaks for itself. She is a super talented horse, and she's a main contender in that distaff.
And I think she's getting better, too.
She's getting better.
Each and every race.
She's going to have to. I mean, her and Dry Powder, they ran 1-2 in the cotillion. It's a big ask. I mean, this time of year, taking on older horses is not a problem, but for the first time, we just don't know how good the 3-year-old fillies are against the older mares. But, yeah, she's a good-looking filly despite the overbite. They haven't got Invisalign for horses yet, so she's stuck with that, unfortunately, when she goes to breed.
That could be your billion-dollar idea. Right. Invisalign for horses by Simon Bray. To get into the dental hours for Simon Bray, we'll post that schedule later. Here's the schedule, though, for workers today as we take a look at who will be hitting the track and when. As today at Del Mar, we're expecting the renovation break in about 5 minutes, and then those international horses hit the turf course from 7:15 to 7:45, and then domestic horses until 9:30 this morning. So this is what we're taking a look at as the training hours are commencing here at Del Mar. We already had some works under the cover of darkness. Right now, let's get back out to Santa Anita as our very own Michelle Yu is caught up with Hall of Famer Mike Smith.
I am joined by Mike Smith, who is the leading jockey in the Breeders' Cup. Do you know how many Breeders' Cup wins you have amassed?
Does that mean I won more, or I've just been around longer?
No,
I'm not.
Won. How many Breeders' Cup races have you won? Do you know?
I believe it's 27.
I like how it says, I believe. You know, every night when you go to bed and you do your prayers, you're like, I'd like to thank the Lord for Zenyatta and Arrogate and Lord, right? Is that how we do it?
I've been very blessed, man. I thank them all every time.
And I want to ask you, what was your first Breeders' Cup win?
Lure went back-to-back. He was my first and second, so he won the Breeders' Cup Mile at Gulfstream, and then he came here at Santa Anita and won the following year the Breeders' Cup. He was a special horse.
What was that like to be able to win multiple races in the Breeders' Cup with one guy?
Oh, it was amazing. Just getting to be a part of Lure was amazing. And to this day, I think he's still the best grass horse I've ever been on.
Really? What made him so memorable?
Everything about him. He had so much talent, and he had IQ was high, man. He could go to the lead. If he got away a little slow, you could come from out. It didn't matter. I mean, you just point him in the right direction. You tell him when to go, and he'd go.
Of course, you've had some fan favorite moments winning with Zenyatta. Can you kind of take us back and walk us through that day?
Man, it's just a fairy tale, to be honest with you. The whole thing was amazing. I remember just driving up and parking my car, getting ready to go into the jocks room to get dressed and ready to ride. I was just so excited about what she was capable of and what I thought she could do, and it was against the boys, and a lot of people thought she couldn't get it done because she had just been running against the mares around here, and not only did she get it done, she got it done in Zenyatta style, man. She came from last and just hung it on all the boys pretty handy at the end.
One of my favorites was Inside Information. How was that one?
I think she would have beat the boys that day.
Yeah.
She ran a number that was through the roof that day, especially in the mud, man. She skipped over the mud like a deer. She was just amazing. She still has the largest margin of victory in the Breeders' Cup. I think she won by 13.
Mm-hmm. Going into another Breeders' Cup, do you think if I never win another Breeders' Cup, I'll be okay. I've won this many. Or are you always looking I want to collect as many as possible?
You'll never get that feeling unless you win it again. And that feeling is unbelievable. And the only way to feel that, I wish I could bottle it up and just open it up every now and then and take just a little tiny sip of it. But the only way you're going to get it is to win again, so you want to win again.
What's the Breeders' Cup race that you haven't won that's a bucket list race?
I think I've been blessed to have won them all.
Have you really?
I think so, yeah.
Now I need a graphic. Can you guys just make a graphic, please, for that?
At least all the originals, anyway, several times. You know, the originals, there was only 7. There was only one day of them. Now you have, 12 or 14 of them, 12 of them, I think it is. So, but I think I've got the majority of them. Maybe not the 2-year-old on the grass. The 2-year-old filly race on the grass might be the only one that I hadn't won.
What horse do you feel like you should have won the Breeders' Cup on and didn't?
Man, so far I'm fortunate that I don't have one of those right now, and I hope I don't. I hope I retire not having that. Oh, that would be horrible.
What about?
We could have won the Breeders' Cup and didn't.
What about the? We're gonna go back. Okay.
Now listen, Zenyatta, we all know, got beat in the very last one, and we were far back, but there wasn't a whole lot I could do about it. It was just a situation that came up, and even in defeat, she still showed how great she was. So. But that would be one, if you ever had one that you wanted another shot at. And that's only because I got beat. Maybe I'd get beat farther if I took another shot at it. I don't know, but you'd certainly like another one at that.
What about a Breeders' Cup winner that you watched and you thought, man, I would have loved to have ride that horse?
Oh, wow, there's been a whole lot of those, man. There's every one that I hadn't ridden, in the Classic, especially the Classic, it's been some great ones. It's won the Classic, and I think we all dream of just getting the opportunity to ride horses like that.
All right, well, looking forward to us seeing you this year. Big money, Mike Smith, in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
That was the greatest line ever. I think I've won all of them. I think I won all of them. I didn't leave any meat on that bone, did he?
Absolutely incredible. And one thing about Mike, too, I mean, he truly is ageless. I mean, you guys all know he works out just about every single day. And, I mean, to be in tip-top shape to perform in a Breeders' Cup is truly amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the balance right now, right? I mean, he's succeeded in the industry. He is where he is. He doesn't need to be riding 10 a day. And he's got that balance perfect, I think, trying to pick up the good mounts.
He's the only rider I've ever seen do that. He's the only rider. I mean, a lot of them say that, but he's the only rider I've ever seen get to that rarefied air where he rides 2 or 3 a day if he wants. He picks up the money ones. He's riding for Derbies and Breeders' Cups, and that's really it at this point. But he is so good that he has his pick. I mean, if he calls up a trainer and be like, hey, I want to get on your Derby horse, who's not taking that call?
Yeah.
That's who's not taking that? Hey, I want to get on your Breeders' Cup. Who's not taking that call? So, and also the stories that Mike Smith can tell. He has ridden some great horses. You could and you've done it for years. You could just hang out with Mike, go to dinner, hanging out in the room, just listen to the stories. And even before he was riding legitimately match racing horses when he was 10, 11, 12 years old with his uncles in New Mexico. I mean, he's got racing stories from here to eternity.
Yeah, no, I love going to dinner with him. The only problem, he's a little tight, so, I mean, you do have to pay, so that's the only problem.
Who picks up the bill with that pair?
Yeah.
Wow. When Joe squeezes a quarter, he makes the eagle scream.
The first surgery Joe ever had was to get his wallet open.
Yeah. All right. We needed an equipment change on Joe. Rubber band off the bankroll. Let's check in with Joaquin as journalism's taking a little stroll.
Yeah, Mike, thank you very much. We made our way back here to trainer Michael McCarthy's barn, taking a look at your Preakness winner in journalism. He was on the exact same schedule today as he was yesterday. He was out for another early morning gallop, made another favorable impression as he always does, and his morning is done. He's done for the day here. He has already cooled out. He's already got a bath just a few moments ago, about 5 minutes ago. Now he's taking another walk and cooling out right here for journalism. So, Mike, he had a very easy day today, but all eyes are going to be on journalism tomorrow. For those that missed the first show and missed the report yesterday, Michael McCarthy told me that journalism is going to have his final breeze for the Breeders' Cup Classic. That is going to be tomorrow on Sunday morning. And Jose Ortiz, the new rider aboard journalism in the Classic, is going to be flying in from Kentucky for that work. So journalism is done for today, Mike, but all eyes will be on him tomorrow as he breezes in preparation for the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Thank you very much, Joaquin. And Joaquin has been all over the goings-on with Jose Ortiz. He's been in contact with him when he was going to come in, get that final work in. I mean, this is as important a ride as Jose Ortiz has had in his entire life, coming in on a horse of this magnitude for the biggest race in the game, the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's very, very excited just to get on him and just stroll around. And tomorrow he's going to be, 6 days out. So I don't think they're looking for anything, flashy, probably a minute and change 101. Just kind of get Jose to get a good feel for him and go around there. But he looks a picture of health right here.
Yeah, he's tipped his hand the whole year. He hasn't changed, despite the schedule he had, the busy schedule the first part of the year. He's looked the same the whole year. He's held his weight and condition really well.
Michael McCarthy's done a fantastic job. We can't give him enough credit. As we take a break, when we return, we're going to have some more works. We have a lot of works in the books at Keeneland, as we heard from Scott, and Kentucky at Churchill Downs with Caton. More action up at Santa Anita and right here at Del Mar. Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup continues after this.
Grabs the rebound, pushes it ahead, finds the open man, he puts it up, scores!
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, play your game.
Calling all!
Calling all!
Calling all! Trillionaires!
Calling all, calling all, calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all, calling all, trillionaires.
Come and join a club that has rewards for everyone. I'm talking birthday perks, free daily game, and other stuff that's fun.
Designed for people who love thrills like me and her and him, and with a weekly bonus pack, our thrills are filled up to the brim. Can you thrill me?
Yeah, because this will be like the most amount of pure glee that ya ever gonna get from rewards that start day one. So we're calling all,
Calling all, calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all. Calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all, calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all.
Calling all trillionaires. FanDuel Casino.
Douglas trusts Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
I'm Douglas, and I'm from Chicago. I was looking for something specifically for my brain. That's when I chose Prevagen. And the confidence I've received from Prevagen allows me to continue to do those things that I love. I have been taking Prevagen for more than 9 years, and it really works for me.
Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years.
Walking right now with Gold Phoenix, not Old Phoenix, right? He looked at me when I said that. He wanted to make sure I got the G in there. GFP, as he's known around the barn. Also his other nickname, Clifford, the big red dog, because he's very puppy-like. Look at him right here. Is this not the easiest horse to ride, Umpy?
I had fun with him. It's a puppy, you know. It's getting old. He knows what he's doing, so it's a pleasure to ride him.
What are you guys going to do today?
Just maintenance 1 minute 101. I'm working company with my partner Gio. We're gonna have some fun out there.
All right, we'll catch up with Umbie and Gold Phoenix after. We'll hold back right here. Here comes Mission of Joy. I believe that's going to be Gold Phoenix's workmate. What happened to Billy? Oh, here's Billy. I'm going to run over here. We're running now. We're going to find Billy Koch. Hey.
Good morning.
How exciting is this?
Oh, it's always great. This time of year is best time of year. I love the Breeders' Cup so much, and it's just a pleasure to be back with Gold Phoenix, and hopefully we get one defection for later than planned. He's right behind you, I think.
Oh, the baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see him right behind me. I got to ask about Gold Phoenix, though, because his affinity for Del Mar has just been absolutely tremendous.
Yeah.
Not just during the summer, but the Breeders' Cup races he's run there. What's it been like for you and your partners?
Listen, it's you understand a lot about gratitude and being thankful, and we have such a good team with Phil D'Amato and his whole crew, and you know, there's just these horses like that don't come around that often. Mm-hmm. So when they do, enjoy it, take advantage of it.
All right, we're going to enjoy it and take advantage of getting to be up close and personal with Clifford, the big red dog here.
GFP.
We're going to watch his work.
Where's your hat?
I know, I need my hat for the morning, huh? It's in my car, actually. My favorite hat I wear is my GFP hat. I might have to bust that one out tomorrow. I'm definitely going to be wearing it next weekend, guys.
Very good.
Underrated part of Billy Koch's game, hat design. Little Red Feather leading the league in hats. I got the red one with the feather on it. Very sharp. And they're constantly changing the hats up, too.
I love when he brings them out for free.
Yeah, well, that's why. Yeah. Joe Talamo, he's buying. At any rate, Gold Phoenix, though, just a brilliant horse. And if you were in a partnership, this is exactly the kind of horse you would hope and pray to buy into. A horse that takes you to the Breeders' Cup 4 times, a horse that races through the age of 7. He is just the gift that keeps on giving.
And loves it here at Del Mar.
Yep.
I think he won the Del Mar handicap this year for 5 times in a row. Fourth time. Absolutely loves it here. Fun horse to watch, too. Sometimes he'll make the finishes really close, but loves that distance of 1.5 miles, too.
I mean, especially for a group like that, like a partnership group, that's like a marquee horse for a partnership, right? To show, I mean, just to make it to 4 Breeders' Cup is a tremendous achievement in and of itself.
He almost won last year.
Yeah, he was 4th.
He was fourth.
Being a length and a 3/4.
I mean, he was close. We're going to get back out to Santa Anita. We've got a worker for the juvenile turf sprint later than planned on the synthetic. Getting ready to roll right here and going to break into that work right now. We're in saddle towel 108 for trainer Phil D'Amato. And I'm not sure who's... I'm sorry, 908, not 108, 908. I'm not sure who's in the irons as the exercise rider, but we're going to take a look at this. And this is live right now, so we're seeing this in real time. Joe, at this point, well, when he gets out from behind the video board, at this point, what are we looking for?
Yeah, he looks really good. His last work, he went 48-1, so we're 7 days out, 1 week out, so nothing flashy. You could see he's pricking his ears up back and forth, just cruising right along. And most of the time when Phil D'Amato works his horses, he really emphasizes the gallop out, but with only being a week out, I wouldn't expect a very, very strong gallop out, but he'll probably, once he switches leads, let him finish a little bit, then go on out just nice and smooth. But visually, I really like this work. Horse is striding out really nice, has some really good energy.
Yeah, getting over the synthetic surface well on the training track there. Obviously a former European horse that Phil D'Amato has had so much success with, and he's got a good record here in the United States. Disappointing effort in the Del Mar Juvenile. I'm not sure what went wrong there. He was just a little aggressive early. I think he's a little better like a European horse, settling in behind, switching off, and then finishing late.
So I got a question, Simon. Do you train a turf sprinter different than you train a horse going 1.25 miles on the main track? What are the nuances? What are the main differences, too?
Well, it depends on the horse. I mean, sometimes the horses tell you how to train them. If they're aggressive, you're not going to go out there and work 3/4 every week, right? But if a horse is a little lazy and a little slow, you'll probably put a little more distance into him. So you let the horse dictate you a little bit. Obviously, sprinters, you'll probably work them a little shorter, closer to the race. If they're a speedster, keep the speed, keep them sharp and on their toes. But I think the main thing is, well, at least when I was training, I trained majority turf horses, getting them to relax. I want horses to relax and finish, because 99% of the turf races are run slow early and fast late. It's very rare that you, especially going 2 turns, you can get an aggressive horse to keep going. On the dirt, you can, but on the turf, someone will always come and get you.
You relax.
Yeah.
You can relax right now. We're going to Michelle Yu. She's standing by with Umberto Rispoli.
She's always relaxed.
We were very relaxed over here. Umberto was just cleaning up. I had a bite of Portos, and there was some left over, and it's a long story. Either way, just got off Gold Phoenix. Literally just jumped off right now. I thought we were going to get a Frankie Dettori-style flying dismount. How was the work? As planned?
Yes, obviously, he ran a couple of weeks ago. He's fresh. He's doing well. He just needs some maintenance this morning. It was a very good work, so hopefully, he's going to express himself pretty well in the race, too. It's going to be tough this time.
What do you think about Gold Phoenix, just from a mental standpoint? You mentioned he's a little older. He's kind of a kickback customer. Is it hard to see how good they're going to be when they're so relaxed like that in the mornings?
Well, I mean, you let him do most of the things that they want. As you know, old horses, they work really well.
Well, we know Phil liked the work because he smiled.
Yeah, no, honestly, as I said, it's that type of horse, then he knows what he's doing, so you don't want to over-ask him, but at the same time, you have to make him work a little bit, because if it's for him, you can go 5 furlong in a 107, so it's a pretty, he's a cheeky horse, no, but jokes aside, I think the work was good. As I said, the race is tough, but the last couple of years, he always say hi in that race. In Allway, he's been he ran tough both races. He ran 4th both times. So hopefully, and he likes Del Mar. So
He loves Del Mar.
Yeah, I mean, find me another horse. He won the Del Mar Handicap for 4 years in a row. So he really likes there. So let's see what happens.
I know that we've had a lot of turmoil coming into Breeders' Cup for you. How do you just push past that, though, and move on to the horses that you're riding and how good you can do with them?
I just think you have to go day by day. I mean, like, as I said, you know, it's nothing then you can't get upset for something you can't control. You just move on. I'm honestly in peace. I'm okay. I'm good. I do my job. I'm here. I'm working my horses for Breeders' Cup. I have to look forward. I have plenty of rides. I'm blessed to then I'd be part of the Breeders' Cup 1 more year since I'm in the United States. So, look, Michelle, I just enjoy the moment. I enjoy the ride, and I can't wait for Thursday coming up, I swear.
Can I talk about Johannes, one of my favorite horses that you ride? Because he almost got the job done last year. Tell me about his 2 races you've had this year.
Look, the first one obviously was a big mess. As I said, you know, that race was compromised from the gate. Got a little bit of squeeze out there. Going to the first turn, obviously, the race was over. But, you know, those type of races, you can count this. You know, I have a lot of success with the horse. I would say I rode him 12 times. I won 9 races on him. The 2 times happened twice at the gate, and the 3rd time I got beat was a Breeders' Cup last year. So it's a great horse. It's a privilege to be on him. It comes from a long journey, you know, with the Joe, Debbie, the owners, and team, obviously, when we started this campaign with this horse. But he's doing really well. He's doing really well. I know that expectations are really high, and I'm really pumped out for it. And look, if the race falls in the right way, we're going to be there again, I'm pretty sure.
All right, looking forward to a fantastic upcoming weekend for you.
Thank you, Michelle.
It is important. We're not going to not talk about the elephant in the room, that he gets taken off journalism. He's one of the best horses in the world prior to the Classic. But as an athlete, especially a jockey, you have to be able to compartmentalize. You have to put this over here and focus on this over here, because you can't control what the connections do. If they take you off, that's it.
Yeah, and I really loved what he said, that he's at peace with. And you truly have to be, because we have no contracts at all in this game. It's horse by horse.
That's Gold Phoenix in the gold helmet as we're taking a look. He is in front right now, and Umberto, he gave you the recap of the work, but, I mean, this horse is a pro.
Yeah, he is. Older horse, you could see he has his ears straight up, and he alluded to it too. He's kind of a lazy horse. If you don't kind of get after him a little bit, he'll go in, you know, anywhere from 102 to 104, 105. But I think that's why they had the company behind him there to try and get to him and keep him honest down the stretch.
That's exactly right. I mean, like I said yesterday, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and they know exactly what he's doing here. So the company comes up upsides down the lane just to get him to finish up a little bit, and he's moving perfectly well there. I mean, looks tremendous. And what a career he's had, 10 for 28 lifetime. But back to Umberto for a second. Yeah, I think that's a great interview. I think from the perspective, especially this week, when you get taken off a horse leading into the Breeders' Cup, you can't let people show how it's affecting you. I really believe that. You've got to come out like that, like it doesn't bother you. Because what happens, then people start to hold it against you. Is he going to, you know, take it personally? You get angry about it. I think he's doing exactly the right thing on a big stage like this. You've just got to put it behind you.
Right, because whether people want to admit it or not, they're looking at his reaction.
Exactly.
They're looking for something. I understand, but everyone's paying attention.
Right, and you might pick up I'm not saying it's a bad word, like a sympathy mount. Some people might feel sorry for you, like, you know what, I'll give Umberto a chance on this horse or that horse. He's doing exactly the right thing.
Right, you also have to have a measure of confidence that what you've done throughout your career to this point doesn't get thrown out the window because of one decision on a horse that you're on, right? Even if it's the best horse you've ever been on, you can't let that. You have to still have that belief in yourself.
And not only that, he still wants to ride for Michael McCarthy moving forward. It's not like he wants to burn that bridge and get mad with the Eclipse Starbreds and Michael McCarthy. So, yeah, you really have to just be at peace with it, just like he said, and move on.
Kill him with kindness. That's what you got to do. And the racing gods have a way of these things always turn out for the better.
Right.
Whether it might be a year from now or 6 months from now.
That's why I could never be a jockey. If they put Joe Talamo in this chair and kicked me off the show, every time you bought me a drink, you'd hear about that stupid breakfast story. At any rate, where we go? I think we're going to break. They're like, we're had enough of you, Mike. Journalism. Earlier today, out for a gallop. He is going to work early in the morning. Joaquin Jaime reporting just moments ago, closer to 6:30 tomorrow. So Jose can get back and ride at Churchill. We'll have more on The Breakfast Show after this.
At Calumet Farm, we're proud to offer proven stallions to fit every breeder's needs. With over 72 million in progeny winnings on dirt and turf, our diverse roster is producing the champions of today and tomorrow. Calumet Farm, a legacy reborn.
Elegance is an attitude.
For centuries, the bond between horse and human has been forged in trust and hands-on care. Thoroughbred racing is combining that tradition with cutting-edge technology to raise our standards even higher. New investments in wearable biometrics, advanced imaging, and AI help optimize our safety programs.
That opening quarter mile was a quick one.
Every day, a commitment to improving their care. So win or lose, it's safety that runs first. To learn more, visit safetyrunsfirst.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Keeneland welcomes you to the inaugural championship sale for this one-of-a-kind sales event, right here at the center of the World Championships. Your opportunity to play at the highest level is about to begin. Welcome to the Keeneland Championship Sale.
Well, there is Nisos. He's short on racing, long on talent, and one of the more intriguing horses in the Breeders' Cup Classic because he has the ability, but does he have the credentials to match up against some of his foes?
Yeah, he won the San Diego. He was supposed to run in the Del Mar Pacific Classic and ended up scratching. So he's going back in the Dirt Mile here. So coming off a bit of a layoff, he did work 111 and 3, and actually 2 111s back to back.
Yeah, he had, you know, he's had a big break since the San Diego. So I mean, his last 2 starts. I mean, his resume, when you look at his resume, it's unbelievable. He's only been beaten once, but the problem is there's a lot of layoff lines in between him. I mean, 2 starts in 2023, 1 in 24, then he managed to put 3 in a row. So this is him at Santa Anita. He's on the training track here. I don't know whether they're just warming up. I've known Bob Baffert to work many horses on the training track there, so this might just be a warm-up here.
Well, if he's a horse that has issues, though, is the training track a better option for works, perhaps? It's a little bit kinder to the horses?
I don't know, because he's never worked him on the training track.
You know what? On September 22nd, he actually worked a half
Oh, he
mile
did, yes.
one time. So I will say this, too. A lot of times, because the break is different from the training track and the main track, a lot of times they'll go out there and then just backtrack and warm up for a little bit.
While the main track's being rid of him.
I know Mike Pipey did that with Misdirection quite a bit. They would just jog back, warm up a little bit. That way you could go on the main track and then just go straight off and work accordingly.
He is sensationally talented. There's no questioning it. And Nisos doesn't show up in the Dirt Mile, no one will be surprised. And if Nisos wins the Dirt Mile by 5, no one will be surprised.
I tell you what, if he shows up on any given day, he's definitely capable of it. I mean, in a triple bin, he ran a 108 buyer winning that. So, I mean, he's a horse that when he's ready to roll, he's definitely capable of anything.
I mean, like Zenyatta's defeat in the Breeders' Cup Classic, I think his defeat might be his best race he ever run. It was off a long layoff. He ran behind Mindframe, who's going to be one of the top choice in the class. Banishing was in there, and he was on a track that was just awful, sloppy racetrack, and he hadn't run in over a year. I mean, that was a tremendous performance in defeat.
He's a real nice horse. They have a hard time keeping him together and keeping him in the races and keeping him in training. And, you know, it's a part of the game, but when he makes his way to the track, there are very few that can run with him.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. The talent's there. I mean, 6 career starts, 5 wins, 1 second, and just very, very impressive. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. You could see him backtracking. He's about at the apex top of the stretch here at the training track. So we'll see if he's going to turn around and work, or if he'll jog off and then just go and wait for the main track break.
I'm just kind of interested to see what he's going to do here, because we thought he was going to work this morning.
No, he's definitely working.
He's definitely working?
Because the exercise rider, right? As short as the irons are, don't you think, Joe?
Yeah.
And he's got the radio on.
So he's definitely working, but we'd be surprised if he works on this surface. We're expecting him to work on the main track, but maybe he does work on the
Well, Joe brings up
track.
a good, I mean, the fact that he's had a history, that one work,
Yeah.
I missed that there, September 22nd. So, I mean, he's got no rings on. He's got a tongue tie on.
He's just... Now, is he going to turn and work, or is he just going to walk off the track?
The suspense.
It's killing me. It's killing me, Smalls. Let's see what he does. And he is going to the main track. So you were right, Simon. He did just a little bit of a jog around the outside rail there, just to get him warmed up so he can get on the track and just make that work.
And a lot of times, too, not only Bob, but some trainers, they'll just go straight off and then work either a half a mile or 5/8. But when you do that, you don't really get a good warm-up. So from the quarter pole to the 5/8 pole. But if you do want a good warm-up, you'll do what he just did.
There's a look at a stacked Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile with a defending champ, a Derby winner. We just saw Nisos and White Abario, a former Breeders' Cup Classic winner. This is as stacked a Dirt Mile as we've seen in a long time. We're going to take a break. When we return, more action from Santa Anita. We'll have hopefully this Nisos work, and we'll hopefully see Seismic Beauty, his stablemate, as well as she prepares for the distaff. A live look here at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. The signage is up, tractors are out. Breakfast continues right after this.
You might take something for your heart. You might get support for your joints. Or even use something for your digestion. So why wouldn't you take something for the most important part of you? Your brain. People all over the country take Prevagen for their brain. In fact, Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years. The most important supplement for the most important part of you. Try Prevagen for your brain today.
He's inside the 20. End zone. Touchdown.
FanDuel held a shooting contest to promote its new MySpend tool. MySpend makes it easy to view your deposit and bet history all in one place. Because betting without knowing how much you're spending is like shooting in the dark. See the whole picture. Make FanDuel's MySpend tool part of your system and stop shooting in the dark.
NetJets is more. And with NetJets, you get more. More exceptional service. Heightened safety standards. And anytime access to where you're needed most. Do more and miss less with NetJets.
Sweet As Tekka on track for Richie Baltas, the winner of the Rancho Bernardo. Two-time winner of the Rancho Bernardo, I should say, and a Grade 1 winner in the Beholder Mile. This mare is going in the filly and mare sprint. Her highlight of her year was beating Copion in her first start of 2025 in the Great Lady M.
Yeah, she is very, very talented, very fast. One thing of note, on October 19th, she worked 1:10.4. You do not want to see that today. If she works fast like that today, I feel like she's going to run a race. I would expect something very, very easy, only being less than a week out from her race.
I mean, that's as fast as the 3/4 you'll see in the morning, 10:4. I mean, some horses run that in the afternoon. I mean, that's really, really fast. I mean, when you're talking about 3/4 of a mile, I mean, I would say 1:11 is fast, all the way to like 1:16 being slow. So
I've been hiding my mug off screen, and I don't need to because it's branded. It's like the show mug. Just keep it right there. You guys have been smart. I like the new mugs, by the way.
Yeah, they're so nice.
Yep.
Nice
Cheers.
handle.
Cheers, yeah. This is
Salute.
Yep.
Just letting you know, Joe Talamo, we don't pay him. He works for the mugs. True story.
That was the best getting that.
Right now, I hope they have production assistants to carry their mugs. We're going back to Santa Anita as we take a look on the main track. I believe Nisos has made his way out there. Are we going to Michelle, or is it just, I think it's just us taking you through Santa Anita. As they are, is it Nisos? Is it Seismic Beauty? We're going to Santa Anita.
I think Nisos.
I think we're going to go to Santa Anita. Okay, I'm going to hold on one second. I'm just kidding. That's what I'm hearing. Just so people know. Just hold on a second. We're going to hold on a second. At any rate, how are you doing, Joe?
I'm good. I want some avocado toast like you were talking about earlier.
Hey, look at that. That is a live shot at Santa Anita. It's crazy sports zoom, but we have, after the renovation, it gets nuts. Now we're on Nisos against. There we go. So we got there. It took us a little bit. It's a live show, everyone. I just want you to know. We've got people everywhere. We've got cameras all around the world. Thank you to our friends at First Racing in Santa Anita for cooperating with us and bringing you this live shot from the great race place. We couldn't do it without them. They are a trusted and an essential partner for this breakfast show. As Nisos just kind of loping into that work. Where's he going to break away, Simon?
Depending how far he's going. I mean, Bob usually likes a little gallop out after his workout, so we'll have to keep an eye on it here. But, I mean, he's moving well. He's going to the pole in good shape, that's for sure.
You can see on his neck, he's got a little bit warm there. But, yeah, and a lot of times, whether they're going 5/8 or a half a mile, Bob will work them on past the wire.
And he's probably getting a little warm. He's been out for a while, you know. So he jogged on the training track. Then he's walking back under the tunnel to come back onto the main track. So, yeah, he just broke off there. Very smooth transition. I like when horses – I hate horses that just go from, you know, a slow gallop into a flat-out work. I don't like that when they bust away to the pole like that. So he had a nice transition, manageable for the rider.
Yeah, and one thing of note, too, I mean, he had 2 works back-to-back and 1:11 and change. So as far as fitness, I mean, he's definitely got that. This is just pretty much maintenance, only being a week out from his race. So he just wants to just kind of cruise along there. I wouldn't expect a huge gallop out, but you never quite know. But he definitely looks really good here.
He's moving great, very fluid. I mean, obviously a horse that's had a lot of layoff lines. You're looking at that beautiful, smooth transition into his right lead there. Low action, skips over the ground. Saw some turf horses yesterday, saw that higher knee action. Very not the case here. He's just bouncing over the ground.
Biomechanically, because that's your favorite adverb, Simon. Biomechanically, how do you like his action?
I love it. I mean, he's moving great. You can't fault him. See, there was the lead change there going into the turn with his left lead. Just very fluid. It's like, you know, when you watch like young kids playing sports, you can pick out the athletes, or you can tell kids in high school. And it's the same with horses. You look at them, you're looking for the athletic horse, and he's very, very athletic. I mean, he costs what he costs, $500,000 at a 2-year-old in training sales?
$550,000.
Yeah.
Now, Sweet As Tekka we saw getting ready for her work, the filly and mare sprinter for Richie Baltas. He's coming in with a pair of really nice sprinters. We'll talk about Silver Bullet as well, or AG Bullet, however you want to say it. There's a look at Sweet As Tekka.
And I love how she's just kind of standing there, too, because if you notice some of her works, they are pretty quick. We touched on her last work on October 19th, 1:10.4, which is very, very quick. So I wouldn't expect anything crazy today. I mean, I would think that Richie Baltas is expecting something real slow, just to kind of cruise around there. But yeah, very, very capable filly. So they're probably just standing there, I know the track they're waiting to open, but just to try and keep her to stay cool and not want to, as Simon alluded to, bust off and just go absolutely wide open the first part.
This would be pressure cooker moment for the exercise rider, because when you look at her workouts and you look at the way she races, there's only one way to go. She goes flat out in the afternoon, and it appears that she goes flat out in the morning. So the way you start the work sets the tempo for the whole thing. So the transition into the beginning of the work will lay the foundation for whether you're going to go way too fast. I don't think there's a situation here where she's going to go too slow. That's not going to be a problem. So obviously the exercise rider knows her, but I mean, she's just, bottom line, she's just a fast filly, morning and afternoon.
Yeah, you can see it right there. She's
careful. Yeah, she's
on her toes.
See, the lead pony there, he let her go. You see that strap that's not connected?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never like the ones with that snapped onto the bit, because you can't turn them loose. That's a strap that goes through the ring of the bit, and when the horses go back like that, you just let go of one end and it slides right off. The worst thing you can do on a horse going backward is pull them, try and anchor them down. They'll just go back even further.
Joaquin, what can you see?
Yeah, guys, Sweet As Tekka getting ready to go here. She's undefeated this year, 2 for 2. She's undefeated at Del Mar, also 2 for 2. She hasn't raced since she won the Rancho Bernardo on August 24th. Since that time, 3 works, back on the tab September 21st. Richard told me a few moments ago she did miss a work from September 21st to October 11th. She had a little bit of a virus. It wasn't serious, but she did miss a work. Part of the reason on October 19th why that work was so fast is because he wanted her to do a little something extra. Did he want her to go 1:10.4? Well, I'm not too sure, but that was a very fast drill on October 19th, going 6 furlongs over at Santa Anita. The plan today for Sweet As Tekka that you're going to see here in just a moment is going to be a 5 furlong drill. She's going to go by herself. I asked Richie the time that he would like her to go into. He said, look, this is a fast workhorse. I know she's going to work fast. If I can get something within 59 to a minute, I'm going to be happy here. One other thing of note, Simon mentioned the rider here. The rider for Sweet As Tekka this morning is going to be Welfin Orantes. Orantes told me this is going to be his very first time riding Sweet As Tekka in the morning. So he doesn't know this filly at all. First time hopping aboard her here for this 5 furlong drill. So guys, we'll see how it all goes here for Sweet As Tekka breezing 5 furlongs here at Del Mar in just a moment.
Very interesting, because Welfin Orantes, he is lightly raced jockey. He's just finishing up his apprenticeship, and this is not a rider who has the breadth of experience. Is there any trepidation there, Joe, to put a guy like this in the irons on a final prep for a Breeders' Cup race?
I mean, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of pressure on Welfin there, especially a filly that Richie Baltas even said it. She's a fast filly. You definitely want to get her to slow down, and she's a filly. If you do something like move too much going to the pole or signal to her that it's go time, I mean, she could take off and you could see a 58 flat gallop out in 111.
Yeah, I mean, it's just exactly what I said before we went to Joaquin. She's fast in the morning, fast in the afternoon. Pressure cooker situation for the exercise rider, or the jockey in this case. And I mean, that's a lot on his shoulders here, especially, you know, the type of filly that she is, never sat on her back before.
She is all business. Look at her.
Yeah.
But he's resigned. Richie's resigned to the fact she's going to go down there in 59. So hopefully it's not 57.
But if she's already a fast workhorse, she clearly works fast prior to her wins as well. It's just part of her MO.
Yeah, and you don't want to get into a wrestling match with these types of horses and start yanking them back, because then you cause all kinds of issues. So.
And that's kind of that sweet spot, too, as either an exercise rider or a jockey. Sometimes a filly or a colt like that it gets real aggressive. Sometimes the more you pull, the more they grab the bit and want to go forward. So you really have to find that happy medium to try and set your hands down and relax and try and get them to settle as much as you can.
That's why you get the big bucks, Joe T.
Let's get out to Santa Anita. We've got another classic contender on the track in Nevada Beach. This was the horse who won the Goodwood over Full Serrano and Pridman back at Santa Anita, as he is the horse on the inside with the black hat Winterfell is not a Breeders' Cup horse, just a workmate in this situation for a lightly raced, and yet again, another lightly raced but long on talent horse for the Baffert barn.
Yeah, 3-year-old. He's 3 for 4 lifetime with only 1 second. Won the Grade 1 Goodwood last time out. That's for 3-year-olds and upward, and looks really, really good right now. Has his ears kind of flipping back and forth. He's another one. His last work was 111 and 4, so I would expect something around there, 112 and change, whether he's going 5/8 with a good gallop out.
Big performance for Nevada Beach last time out, beating one of the choices for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile in Full Serrano. So, I mean, he's an improving 3-year-old. They're dangerous. His numbers have increased each and every race. He made a big jump in the Goodwood last time out, and maybe he's just improving at the right time.
There's a lot of questions to be asked here. He's never gone further than 1 1/8 miles. He's only raced 4 times. He's taking on the best horses in the world. But if there's someone who can do this, it's Bob Baffert.
Oh, absolutely. That is a question mark. He did win twice going 1 1/8 miles. That he is going to get that extra test for another 1/8 of a mile, going 1 1/25 miles. But you can see he's being axed pretty good here on the gallop out there.
Yeah, we haven't seen a horse ass like that this whole, well, in the first 2 days of the show for sure.
Let's get out to Michelle Yu at Santa Anita.
Guys, I didn't get to see the work myself just because it finishes up there. I only get to see around the turn. But I hear you talking about him being asked a little bit on the gallop out. This horse is lazy. In fact, when JJ came back by right now, he was telling Jimmy, man, he's so lazy. I have to keep asking him to go. So it's not that he is tired or doesn't have the talent. He's just got a little bit of mentality to get over there, that he needs to be pushed along a little bit more than some of the other horses that are more naturally in the bridle.
Great information. Thank you, Michelle. As we go back to another, I mean, he'd be a superstar in almost any other crop of 3-year-olds, but Baeza, easily the 3rd best. I wouldn't put him 4th, and I wouldn't put him 2nd out of this crop. He is long on talent. He's another one. I wonder if he's got more to give. I wonder if he's still getting better.
I truly think he is. I mean, that was a breakthrough performance last time out in the Pennsylvania Derby, and I mean, you alluded to it to a T. If he didn't run into sovereignty and journalism any other year, we would be talking about him as a top-rated 3-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, he finally got away from those two, and he won the Pennsylvania Derby, which I think was good fortune as his final prep race for the Classic. He kind of had a nice prep race, a 6-week break since the Pennsylvania Derby. That just falls right into John Shirreffs' program, you know. And this horse has never missed a beat. I mean, going back to December of last year, he's pretty much raced each and every month. He has a chance to turn the tables. I know the evidence there is in black and white that he can get by those 2 horses, but look, it's a horse race, and he's improving at the right time. He's out in the middle of the track here, obviously by design, because they don't want to drop. The closer you get horses down to the rail, the more they are keen and want to work. But he's moving great.
He looks really, really good here. You could see he's striding out. This is a pretty strong finish too. I'm not quite sure what the final time is going to be, but you can see his momentum is really taking him out really, really good. It looks like Hector Berrios, who's going to ride him, is aboard him in this work. And yeah, this is a very, very strong gallop out.
His progression too, it's darn near perfect. He gets faster every race, and incrementally so. He started at a high bar. I mean, he broke his maiden. He runs a 93 Beyer at Santa Anita back in February. Then he goes 93, 101, 102, 100 in the Belmont, 103, 105. He just keeps climbing the ladder. If he takes another step forward, he runs a 107, a 108.
Well, that's kind of the Sheriff's program,
yeah,
right?
Like
just improve.
But if he runs a 107 and a 108, he's as good as anybody in this field.
I mean, his only bad race is his first start. That was a mile on the turf. Besides that, I mean, he's never been off the board.
And I just think that was to get a race into him, knowing John Shirreffs. I said this, I think it was to Mike the other day. I've seen more trainers debut dirt horses on the turf the last several years just to get a race into him.
And then Empire Maker?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Doug O'Neill does it quite a lot.
So that's Baeza. So we were waiting for Sweet As Tekka to turn into that work. Let's take a look at Sweet As Tekka right now as this muscly filly who is certainly feeling good this morning. And Welfin Orantes has his hands full trying to keep her within herself in this work.
Hey, let's see. I'm interested to see this now because we kind of build up this whole drama here. Let's see. And she breaks away for a fast filly. She breaks away from the pole very kindly. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah, no, this is very, and look at her mannerisms, has her ears straight up. This is exactly what you want to see. You do not want to see her ears pinned all the way back and just absolutely blast off.
Yeah, she's kind of looking around, or her ears are kind of moving around a little bit.
This is a perfect transition to me visually, because that last work in 1:10 and 4, I would have to think she absolutely blasted off and probably went 22 and change, 34, but she looks very, very smooth. This is off of a very fast work that was only 6 days ago. This is exactly what you want to see.
I don't think it's, I mean, looking at it, it's hard to believe she's going around there at 59, but, well, now she's picking up a little bit. You see, Welfren, he looked at his watch there and...
Insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Just asking her to finish up here, but... I mean, you'd have to be delighted. She appears to be a kind workhorse for sure.
Yeah, she looks really good. The way Richie was talking about, you would have thought she would be a handful, absolutely ranked, but you could see there's kind of a little bit of a loop in her range. It's absolutely cruising.
Welfren Arantes is not going to be riding her in the Breeders' Cup, but Welfren Arantes at this point in time is as important as anyone else in the preparation for Sweet As Tekka. He is part of the team. It takes a team of people for just any individual horse. And this work as important as any leading into the World Championships.
You mess this up, there's no time to recover from it. 2 weeks ago, if you go too fast, you have a little chance to play catch up.
And on the flip side, as a young rider, this has got to be so cool for Welfren, just to be able to sit on a filly of this quality that's going into the Breeders' Cup.
Well, it's part of his progression too, right? It's a part of his career growth. You know, at first they trust you with the good horses in the morning until they trust you with the good horse in the afternoon. And that's how you get there.
And it's a totally different thing when you work, say, a maiden or allowance horse versus a Breeders' Cup horse. Totally different.
You can feel the difference, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you go a minute or 101 on an allowance horse and then you go back to a Breeders' Cup horse like that, totally different feel. So that's really good for Welfren to get a feel for that moving forward.
All right. Great analysis there from Joe Talamo and his new haircut. Let's go to Andy Biancone.
Ready? Well, we're looking forward to see Darth Vader running the distaff. Raul Alejandro, you've been her exercise rider for a very long time now. How has she progressed and developed from when you started galloping her to now?
Well, she's been doing really great since, every other race she gets better and better. And I think she acclimated really well here, so I'm happy with her.
Now she's expected to breeze tomorrow. Will you be on board for the breeze, and what kind of work will it be?
Yes, I'm supposed to breeze her, and George is coming in town, I think, today. And I think it's just going to be like, little maintenance work, just to get a little air off of her for the race.
What is her personality like as a whole? Is she tough to gallop, or is she pretty straightforward?
She's kind of strong, so that's why I'm on her. But other than that, she's pretty forward. She knows what she does. She's very classy, and I like her.
Well, so far, Darth Vader has been one of my favorites to watch train. She looks fantastic on the track, Raul. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
It takes a team. It's exercise riders, grooms, assistant trainers, foremen, trainers. It's jockeys. It's everything. And we get to see more and more of those members of the team when we do this show.
Yeah, and she's got a good shot in there. As a 5-year-old, she's pretty much improved every single start this year, and just got beat a nose last time on the personal instant to Torpedo Anna.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think she could be coming in here streaking any better.
I like the way she comes in fresh, too. She's coming off that race back in the personal instant back in August, so she comes in as a fresh racehorse. That's a good thing.
Let's talk Formidable Man in the FanDuel Mile presented by the permanently disabled Jockeys Fund. As this was out on the track earlier. Actually, I think, is this live? I think this might be live. As you can see, Formidable Man getting into gear here, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, he is getting into gear. I mean, he's moving pretty quick away from there. We just compare him to Sweet As Tekka, who's a sprint filly. This is a turf mile. I get a little warm on the neck here, but I mean, he's got to improve. His record is great. He's nearly batting 500 in the win column, but I think against some of the Europeans, against Johannes, he definitely has to improve.
Yeah, his top buyer's a 99. I definitely going to have to get upwards of 100 in here. You can see he's pricking his ears back and forth. One thing going for him, he absolutely loves it here at Del Mar. He's 6 for 6 on the Del Mar turf, so if there's any compliment to that, he absolutely loves his turf course. But you alluded to it, Simon. He is going to have to run faster numbers to compete in the Breeders' Cup.
For a turf horse, he gets over the dirt pretty well here, but, he's got a good pedigree, top and bottom.
Yeah, he looks really good. Nice little finish there, and he is getting pretty warm there. You could see that.
I was
going to
ask about that. He's washing out on the neck. Is that anything to be concerned of, or if he's in the body of the work, it doesn't really matter?
I mean, I think we saw that with Sweet As Tekka earlier. Too, they're just naturally kind of getting warm today. I don't know if it's maybe a little bit more humid than other mornings, but he looks really, really happy here. Ears going back and forth, nothing too crazy and nothing too fast on the gallop out. It looks like just kind of coming back to him in good order.
And again, we say this every year. I mean, if he gets a little warm like that every morning, that's fine. We've got a snapshot here, so you have to have a point of reference. So I wouldn't be worried about it.
I think conventional wisdom is that the Euros have the best turf horses, then the East Coast horses, and then us little people out in California. It's fun that we like to play the turf game, but I feel like we have two excellent shots in that Breeders' Cup Mile with Johannes and Formidable Man.
For sure. I mean, Johannes for sure. Because on form, I think he's a little better than Formidable Man. But the fact that he likes the track here, Formidable Man, that goes a long way, horse for course.
And he just missed last year. It's not like he's coming in here and he ran a bad 5th or 6th. I mean, he just missed by pretty much a neck last year.
I'm very provincial about our Californian horses. At any rate, let's get back to Michelle Yu. Baeza just finished up his work, and she is standing by with John Shirreffs.
Walking back right now with John Shirreffs, as well as Hector Barrios' son. So you gave Hector a very important part of your life, and he gave you a very important part of his, John, right?
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, I've got to get him back to the barn safely. That's my job now.
Tell us about the work. 101 and change, I think, was the time.
That's what I heard. I thought the work was just perfect. He started off really slowly, nice, and then as he won, he started to accelerate and through the lane and past the wire. I thought he looked beautiful.
I've been watching his works. I feel like we see a bigger, if possible, more mature Baeza in the last couple of weeks. Do you also see that?
I do. He's sort of deceptive because he's so well balanced and got such great conformation. His size is a little bit misleading, but when you stand up next to him, you're always surprised how big he is.
Yeah. I came and saw him yesterday in the barn too, and I don't want to say he was gentle, but he was very nice. Out here, he seemed like a completely different horse. I mean, this horse turned on the light switch to fight.
Oh no, he does. He knows what racing is all about now, and that's what you want horses. They'd be able to turn it off. They go back to their barn, take the tack off, take a deep breath, and relax. That's a great sign for a horse, right? Beautiful. And then when you put the tack on, you want to know it's time to focus. Game time.
Yeah. John, the last horse you ran in the Classic, I believe, was Zenyatta. Is that true?
Could be. I don't know. I have a hard time with that.
How do you feel like he is coming in to this race, facing older horses, going back to Del Mar? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think going back to Del Mar is a plus for him because he did so well at Del Mar. Older horses, as you know, it's a different story. Nobody's had that experience yet in the 3-year-old group except for journalism. So we'll see. I think it's a very, very tough field.
Yeah.
When you look at the horses in it, it's just wow.
I think so too. I very, very much agree. Appreciate your time. And what's Dad told you? How much you like this horse?
He likes it so much. Yeah.
What's your name? Sorry.
Isaac Barrios.
Very nice to meet you. What grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade.
Are you going to be a jockey too? I don't know. You're kind of tall to be a jockey.
No jockey. No.
He's going to be a mathematician.
A mathematician?
Yeah, he's into math.
Are you?
I like math, but I don't want to be a mathematician.
We'll find out one day what he's going to be. But John's going to do the handoff now. He gets Baeza back, and he's going to hand Hector back his son.
Math, eh? He's already overqualified to be a jockey.
Yeah. That was a good one, Mike.
There's HB. Hector. Yeah, keep that kid in school. He's already taller than Hector. Yeah, jockey, no shot. No shot. But I will say this. John Shirreffs, he loves his horses. I mean, he absolutely loves horses. And he is great at managing a career. He doesn't just manage a campaign. He doesn't just manage a horse to a race. He manages their whole career. And the best case of that is obviously Zenyatta. But just look at some of the other horses he's had in his barn. I mean, he has manage them throughout multiple campaigns.
And I think that's how you could look at Baeza's form and see the progression. It's not like he went from running his first race on turf that wasn't that good and all of a sudden running 100 buyers. He slowly progressed, 70s, 80s, 90s, now mid-100 buyers. And I think that progression in his way of training is what's making him so good and going into this race peaking in good form.
You won't find a trainer on the grounds that spends more individual attention with each horse. I mean, he designs a program for each horse. It's every single horse is an individual, and it's very rare. Look, he's not going to have champions every year, John Shirreffs, but you look at his horses, they never regress.
Right.
They're always going forward in that direction. Even if it's at allowance races or a low-level claim, they very rarely go backwards. If they're not going to run good, he don't run them.
And I'll tell you, we want to talk about a hands-on horseman. There's been plenty of times in Grade 1 events where I've been reporting and I've wanted to get an interview with him, and he's wearing the bib and walking them himself.
Yep.
Like, I mean, that's the kind of horseman he is. He wants to be in the middle of it at all times. And Baeza, he is tremendously talented. Another thing about Baeza I do want to say, Lee Searing of CRK Stable, he puts a lot of money into this game. And he's had some very nice horses over the year, but it would be great for him to win a classic. We need guys like that, like the good guys in racing who spend a lot of money and love the game. Them enjoying success at the highest level is very important.
That is a great point. He's bought horses for years, really good horses, and it's so great to see him get a horse like Baeza.
Yeah, and he took a lot of them back east, left California. I think a win in the Classic he always said there's the potential for him to bring horses back here to California.
Lee, my daughter's at college. I got an empty room. If you want to stay with us, stay in California, my friend. At any rate, I'm kidding. He probably owns a house. At any rate, let's take a look at Johannes. This was from just a moment ago. Is Johannes getting warmed up? There's a look at him. Striking specimen for Tim Yak team.
Yeah, this is what I've been looking forward to seeing all morning, just because, you know, there's always some question marks around what happened at Saratoga. He just had a bad trip. You write that one off. He came back. And what a relief in the City of Hope Mile. And that was a great race, not a deep race, a strong race, but it's going to, you know, set him up for this weekend. And he's just working beautifully here with a stablemate. I believe the time here is 1:02. He's going to go 1:02 for 5 furlongs. That's an absolute perfect time. He's getting caught up here. There's those two in front. So there's 4 horses there. His stablemate's immediately in front of him. He's got a little bit of company with the 2 in front of him, right, Joe?
Yeah, he's probably getting dirt in his face, too. Those 2 horses are right in front of him.
Is that good or bad?
For a turf horse, I mean, not really, because he's not going to get dirt in his face in a race. But I think this work is absolutely perfect because his last work was 1 minute and 2. And especially for a turf horse, you don't need a blitz out there and 59 or 58 and change. So I think this is absolutely perfect. And Simon alluded to it in a 4-star Dave. Not only did he have a bad trip, but he was coming off about an 8 or 9 month layoff too. So he progressed forward and winning the City of Hope Mile. He's definitely coming into this race in really good order.
So this work to me looks a lot different than what we saw from Sweet As Tekka, right? And it looked a lot different to me than Nisos. Why is that, Simon? What's the main difference between the way this horse just worked and what we've seen from some of those other workers?
Well, he's not a fast dirt horse, right? Sweet As Tekka, she's all, you know, up tempo, go, go, go. He's a horse that can relax. He's a turf horse. I talked about it earlier in the week. You want to be able to, you know, sit and finish in turf races. You look at his past performances. He doesn't come from far back. The 4-star Dave was over 20 yards out of the gate. Tim Yak, I guarantee you, was sitting in the stands and just wanted to leave. Right? It was done. I mean, the race was over. He lays close to the pace, but he's not aggressive. He can, for a rider, Joe can probably explain, you can just steer him like a car rather than have to worry about, is he going to get rank in between horses? He settles in the rider's hands and makes your job a whole lot easier.
And that's what I love so much about that work, too. Even though it wasn't a 58, 59 flashy
the way
work,
he did it.
He settled right off of that other horse, and then he finished in front of him in good order. That's exactly what you wanted to see, and especially with those 2 horses.
Yeah, that traffic, does that help him at all, or does it hurt him? Is it?
It just shows you how rateable he is and how he behaved in behind horses. He didn't get aggressive, didn't want to run and catch him. It just goes to show you how rateable he is.
For an aggressive horse, to your point, if that would have happened, they probably would have taken off and went in front of the 2 horses that were in front of them. But that just goes to show Johannes just how rateable and cool he is.
Right. I mean, if that happened to Sweet As Tekka, you'd probably see a little different situation. Yeah.
We've got a different situation to look at right now. White Abario on the track, just walking right now, pointed for the Dirt Mile. And there's a look at him, head bowed, tail in the air. As he's always been a talented runner. Which version of him do you get, and whether or not he's the same horse that found victory in the Breeders' Cup 2 years ago.
That's the thing. Is just there's kind of a line of demarcation from June on that he hasn't quite been the same horse. And then some people would say, well, you know, he ran against Raging Torrent and Fierceness. He ran against Sierra Leone, the defending classic champion. He ran against Antiquarian in the Jockey Club. That was a bit of a mess of a race. So I think, again, another situation where they've made the right decision in coming here to the mile.
As we take a look at him, what does that body language tell you? The way he was coming out with his neck bowed like that, he's really on his toes.
Very, very happy. I love seeing that, especially with that tail up there. You can see he's definitely transitioning into Del Mar really good. Has his ears up, body language looks really good. And I don't know if we've ever seen that before. A classic winner going back to the mile. Wow. I think that would be a first. I know Knicks Go won the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and then the Classic the very next year, but we've never seen a Classic winner win the Dirt Mile.
And that's Safi Joseph's other runner, Be Your Best. She's going in the filly and mare Turf, coming off of a third-place finish in the Flower Bowl. We'll have this work for you in a moment. Let's check in once again with Michelle Yu.
Oh, guys, I'm with the very first Breeders' Cup worker of the morning here at Santa Anita. Lovesick Blues going out under the cover of darkness for Liberato Barocio, who also joins me. And I came with bribery. What kind of cookies are we feeding?
Oh, man, Mother's Choice, I think they're called.
Whatever they are, he likes them. For sure. Look at him coming over here. Mike, I heard you say earlier, you're killing me, Smalls. That's a line from Liberato's movie, right?
You're right. Yeah, it was a movie that I developed, but then obviously we sold it off, and I made a movie subsequent to that called The Boys Club, which is the second part of that movie. So, yeah, it was a line from the movies, and I got it from when I was young, someone used to always say that. They were saying, you're killing me. So I just put Smalls, which is Chauncey Leopardi, and yeah, it worked out. It was cool.
I love it, The Sandlot, one of my favorite movies here. So tell us about the work, since we didn't get to see it. You did it in the dark, even though he's pretty gray and glows. We were not here yet.
Yeah, I did it early. You know, I love it when the track first opens. It's 5. The track is like powder. You know, I didn't want to take any chances, and he loves it. He goes early every day at 5. He's the first one on the track, and just wanted to be safe about it. I had it scheduled for 6:30 initially, and I called Giovanni's agent last night. I said, you know what, Giovanni? This isn't the way I envisioned it. It's got to be what I saw in the dark. So I didn't want to change anything. So, again, we went to 5. He went great, excellent. Came out of it excellent. You could
Came out of it with tons of energy, apparently. Lots. He's going to clean his feed tub tonight.
Yeah. If you don't give him a cookie in the next minute, he's going to be, look at his eye. Where's my cookie? Where's my cookie? So.
Do you know what horse did this 2 years ago? White Barrio. I was trying to do an interview, and you stood here, and if you had a cookie anywhere on your person, he would not stop.
Oh, good omen. Come on, White Barrio. I know who you are. Come on.
Now, I got to ask, because you were going to skip any other preps. You were going right from the race at Del Mar back to the Breeders' Cup, and instead you opted to run a race. So why the deviation?
You know, I was thinking about it, and, you know, he was training so well. I thought I didn't want him to get hurt in the stall. A lot of horses get hurt in the stall when they're just too much energy. And then on top of that, I spoke to some guys who've been there before, who I consider legends of the game. And I know Neil Drysdale being one of them. He told me he's going to get in trouble for me, you know, telling, the advice he gave me. He says like, everyone's going to get mad at him, give me that advice. But I really appreciate him because, you know, he's a legend in my mind. And he had told me that, you know, if I didn't do this, he said, you probably have to work the horse 2 or 3 times really hard. Mm-hmm. And he said, but that grass, that down the hill, kind of gives you the first, couple furlongs is down the hill. And then he said, just run at the end. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do that. And I think it worked out to plan. You know, I'm sorry I didn't win the race. But I got what I wanted out of it. I think that's exactly how I envisioned it. And, I'm going to tell a little story. Don Chatlocks is a good friend of mine. Back when he had Singletary. If you look at it before he won the Breeders' Cup, if you back up 21 days, he ran a horse, Singletary, same thing off a layoff from May. Came flying, ran third by a head, and set him up. But he told me when him and David Flores rode, I told him, hey, it'd be nice if we win this race, but you know what? Breeders' Cup is our objective. Mm-hmm. So kind of the same instruction I gave Giovanni. I said, it'd be nice, but you know what we're looking for. And so it worked out. And I talked to Don after that. He goes, it's eerie that it was so similar, how you came flying, how Singletary came flying. So I'm just hoping that I can complete it with the win like Don did. So it'd be great. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing this beautiful horse. And do you want to say hi to your family? Because I know that Mi Familia Racing is you and your wife and your daughters.
Yeah, and my dog. So hi, Christine. Hi, Alyssa, Mika, my son, Librado, who's in Indiana. They have a game against Indiana, UCLA against Indiana this morning. And Felix, the doggy. Yeah. And my mommy, if you're up north. Hi, Mom. I see you next week.
Hello, Mi Familia.
Cookies, eh? Sounds good.
That was great.
That was a great. I mean, and that was such a great story when he won the Bing Crosby. It was a monstrous upset. But Lee Barocchio, I mean, he always makes a big entrance into the winner's circle, and he's done a fantastic job with his horse. I mean, give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I know he ran second on the turf last time out, but Simon, if he goes back to that Bing Crosby effort, he ran a 105 buyer there. I mean, that definitely puts him up there. But I do think he is going to have to go back to that performance.
Yeah, he is. He is. I mean, there's no question about that. What I like about his running style. He's not a one-way speedball, so he can sit just off the pace and finish nicely. And the pace is going to be fast in that race.
All right, so we'll have more action on the racetrack. We're about halfway through the breakfast show. Forever Young. Taking a look at him. This is from a few moments ago here at Del Mar. Of course, he's trying his hand in the Classic. He ran a bang-up race last year, finishing third. He took his talents to the Middle East and came back with a chunk of change there. And now he's got a return engagement with this group in the Classic, including the horses that finished in front of him last year in Fierceness in Sierra Leone.
All these years, we've never played Alphaville, right? Wasn't that them, Forever Young? You know the song?
I don't know it. Sorry.
Come on,
I know the song, but I don't know Alphaville.
That's the group.
Yeah, okay. It's the first time.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
The first time you've ever outdone me in pop culture
Yeah,
knowledge.
seriously.
It's
Do you
amazing.
listen to music, Mike?
Just once in a while. There's a look. Not that music. Forever Young. Forever Young. I can sing it. And
please don't.
I won't. Simon, we've talked about how different the Japanese horses are trained, right? You did a whole feature on the Miho Training Center once. Great voiceover, might say, to say so myself.
It was awful.
So,
just so you know, I did it in a toilet.
Yeah.
I seriously did it in a bathroom.
This conversation took took a really bad turn. Tell me about the difference in what we'll see from Forever Young here. Does he get on a similar program leading up to the Breeders' Cup, or are they just going to kind of lope him a little bit until they get to the starting gate?
Well, the first thing to remark, they're out of the stall a lot longer than American horses. See, in the U.S., I'm going to expand on it a little bit, but basically, training centers are in metropolitan areas, right? I mean, we're building racetracks in cities.
Yeah.
So, in Europe and in Japan, they're out in the woods, they're out in the sticks, so they're out of the stalls for a long time. This horse probably is going to walk an hour at the barn before he comes out to the track, and then he'll walk probably another 45 minutes afterwards. So they spend a lot of time out on the track. That's why he's walking like this, so relaxed.
Well, he's not going to walk more than Joaquin, who got 14,000 steps in yesterday, and he's probably got 14,000 more already. Kino?
Keep Joaquin walking.
Hey, you shorted me. It was actually closer to 16,000 here. Standing by with Welford Orantes. He was aboard Sweet As Tekka in her final drill for the Breeders' Cup. Welford, you told me earlier this morning it was your first time aboard her. How did things go out there today with Sweet As Tekka?
Well, she's doing great. She worked pretty easy. She started with slow and she finished pretty nice. She's doing everything right.
We saw you looking at your watch as you were coming down the stretch a little bit. What time did you get Sweet As Tekka in on your watch?
I got like in a minute. I have my watch, just in case, like going a little more faster than what I expect. But she's doing great. She's doing everything perfect now. Hard to rush, nothing. She's doing everything as its own. Really nice to work.
From my vantage point, I was not able to see the work at all. We know she's a very fast horse. She can go 43 and change for a half mile in a race. Was she ever rank with you during the work, or did she relax the entire 5 furlongs?
Yeah, she relaxed the entire 5 furlongs. So she practically, she knows what she had to do, but I'm not asking for nothing. She do everything fine. So.
As a jockey, you deal with pressure every afternoon when you're riding a race. It's a little bit different in the morning. Was there a bit of pressure for you riding Sweet As Tekka in the morning, knowing this is her final work before the Breeders' Cup?
It's like too much responsibility to ride a horse like that.
Yeah.
But it was going to be like great, Yeah. But, yeah.
Appreciate it, Wolf, and have a good morning.
You too. Hey, thank you, guys.
Gotta love him rocking the Los Alamitos vest.
I like that.
I might have to get one of those. I'm gonna hit up the gift shop on my way
He's
home.
got that young naivete, right? He's not nervous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A few years under his belt, he'd be like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. Don't want to mess this up. He doesn't know any different.
He was like, what? That's the last work before Breeders' Cup? Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
He's got a little Talamo in his game. At any rate, we're going to take a break. When we return, we'll have more action on the track. We saw some horses heading out there. We are getting ever so close. We're 6 days away from the Breeders' Cup World Championships here at Del Mar.
Grabs the rebound, pushes it ahead, finds the open man, he puts it up, scores!
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, play your game.
Calling all! Calling all!
Calling all, calling all, calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all, calling all, trillionaires.
Come and join a club that has rewards for everyone. I'm talking birthday perks, free daily game, and other stuff that's fun.
Designed for people who love thrills like me and her and him, and with a weekly bonus pack, our thrills are filled up to the brim. Can you thrill me?
Yeah, because this will be like the most amount of pure glee that ya ever gonna get from rewards that start day one. So we're calling all,
Calling all, calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all. Calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all, calling all, trillionaires, calling all, calling all.
Calling all trillionaires. FanDuel Casino.
Longines. Elegance is an attitude.
Always beware the sharp fillies on their way up. Stellifi, this 4-year-old, is coming into her own right now off of a graded stakes victory last time out. This is her prep earlier today at Churchill Downs for Brad Cox. She's on a 4-race win streak and just getting faster with each and every start.
Yeah, she looks really, really good here. Every single race, she's improved on the Beyer scale. 271s, 278s, 93, 95 Beyer, winning at Kentucky Downs last time out. And this is absolutely perfect. She went 49-1. Pretty much all of her works are like that. You're not going to see anything like really, really flashy, 46, 47 and change. But this is perfect. Striding out very, very nice.
You can see why she's been running distance races on the grass. Look at her action, the way she goes. She just bounds over the ground here. And her last 4 or 5 races, she's been on or close to the lead. As the races have got longer, what happens, the internal fractions get a little slower, so horses get a little faster. Look at her here on the gallop out, passing a galloper there. So, yeah, she's really good. I don't think she's one-dimensional. I think she can sit just off the pace if needs to be. I don't know how much of a turn of foot is compared to those Europeans. These types of horses, Mike, are always susceptible to a horse coming and running them down late with a big burst of speed.
Yeah, but they get the nice firm turf course here at Del Mar, and it should be to her liking. We'll see what she has in store as she is taking on the toughest company of her career. Right now we go to Kate and Bradar, standing by with Brad Cox.
Brad, tell me about Stellifi's work.
She's a really good workhorse. She broke off the half mile. It was a very good breeze, galloped out. Big gallop around the far turn, and that's what she does. She's always worked really well in the dirt and just trying to maintain her fitness, and she does. She puts a lot into her gallops on a day-to-day basis, so just, you know, basic half miles for her each week seems to be what keeps her ticking over.
Sure, previous wins, obviously good early speed. She runs them off their feet, and she just keeps on going, but different competition and probably more pressure early. Is she the type that still has to be on the front? Is that?
I don't know. We may find out next week or next Saturday. I think she'll rate if she's put in that position. I'm hopeful she will, but you know, we'll see how the draw goes and, you know, where we break from and who else has speed. But I do think she'll put in a big effort. I think she'll like that ground out there and the distance as well, and the 3 turns.
A little bit of an unusual situation because Trace Messina is your assistant, and it's his father and the group that are involved in the ownership. But How fun is that? I mean, in a way, it's like extended family.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, they're a good group. They're not only clients but they're friends, and yeah, it's really cool. I mean, what the cool story with the whole deal is obviously they have Fion as well, and these guys pick these horses out at the sales by themselves, and they're both very good. One's a grade 3 winner, grade 1 winner, so it's pretty amazing that look, they don't have a whole lot of stake in the game. They've starting to pick up and do more, but they're rolling. They're rolling, to say the least, and had a great year. And hopefully we can keep it going over the next couple weeks.
They're a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure, with success, and hopefully we'll see a little more of it at the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
Tumb Rumba on the track earlier today at Churchill Downs, working 5 furlongs in 59-2. There's a look at him on the outside. He's got the exercise rider all in black with the black helmet.
Yeah, it looks. I think that's Tyler Gaffleone that's actually working.
Yep.
Tumb Rumba there. And yeah, very sharp work. You can see he broke off about a couple lengths behind, and I would assume he's going to try and join this horse and finish up in tandem. The work before this was in 50 flat, so I'm sure Brian Lynch before the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile just wanted something a little bit sharper going into this race.
Yeah, his last 2 works 48 and 50, so kind of reverse what we're seeing with some trainers where they get a little more out of their works 2 weeks before. Brian neglected to just let this horse open up his lungs and stretch his legs here a week before. And very, very nice work.
Yeah, this is perfect, and he's sharp right now. He's coming off 2 back-to-back wins, going a mile at Ellis Park, and then winning the ACAC at Churchill Downs. So, but he's definitely loves this distance of 1 mile.
4th in the race last year, so I mean he's got to improve a bit. Maybe he has from his 4-year-old year to his 5-year-old year.
Yeah, his last 2 buyers are 93. He's definitely going to have to get in the hundreds to compete there. But I do like his 2-win streak so far.
That's Tumb Rumba galloping out after that work in 59-2. Kate and Bradar caught up with Brian Lynch.
As Tumb Rumba hangs out in the first stall closest to the office, Brian, you don't let him get very far away.
No, he's always been a house favourite, and so we're very excited about this year's Breeders' Cup, and he had his final hit out today. Nice piece of work going into it. Couldn't be more thrilled with that. So we're going to do our best to get him over there as safe and sound as we can, and hopefully he's going to bring his A game.
He worked in company, and it seemed like a pretty quick time. Is that kind of typical of him?
I just think he's in very good form right now, Caton, and I always quote the great Ron McAnally, when good horses are good, they work good. So let's hope that's the case.
Take me to the mile itself and what the ideal situation for him looks like. Obviously, it's going to be the toughest test, but where does he fit? Where should he sit? What would you like to see happen?
I think there's going to be a very legitimate pace from the get-go, and I think he's a very tactical horse, so I think he could sit within striking range. And look, I'd like to see him at the quarter pole and getting involved in the lead and showing the tenacity that he showed in the ACAC, and that'd be the perfect in a perfect world.
Did he have to convince you to go in the Breeders' Cup Mile, or was it always kind of on the radar and something that you were hoping for?
Well, no, it was certainly something you're hoping for, Caton, because after last year's effort, which I thought was a pretty genuine effort as a first start, as a 4-year-old, I thought it was a really good effort to run 4th there. And then his form got a little shaky. He was, running good, but he just wasn't hitting his straps like we would hope he would. And then after the Cowboy, he trained really well going into the Cowboy Jones at Ellis. And I thought that was a game win. He drew the rail, not an ideal situation for him. Tyler was able to take him back and get him to the outside, and he really ran game that day. So give you the hope that the ACAC was the next step, and if he was able to pull that off, then we had a legit chance of going back to the Breeders' Cup. And I think he's racing the ACAC. He took it to Hit Show, who was a heavy favourite in the race, and the bettors made it a 1-horse race, and them 2 hooked up from the get-go, and I think it was one of the most exciting stretch drives that I've run a horse in this year, because he laid it down all the way to the wire, and he showed he's the sort of the spark that everybody sort of jumped on his bandwagon as a young horse, because he'd really gut out tough races, and he showed that in the ACAC, and he's trained on really well since. So, hey, look, I just wouldn't trade spots with anyone. I think he's doing that well.
Appreciate it, Brian.
Thanks, Caton.
I'd say he put the sparkle in Brian's eye but it's always there.
One thing I will say is that when this horse runs a mile, it's usually one. We've got Forever Young right over our shoulder.
He looks really good, too.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. You know, they walk for a considerable amount of time before.
That was American Stage, in case you were wondering, and that is Argine.
Yeah, in the mile. So a lot of big following here. Obviously, following the Japanese horses. They'll walk around here a couple more times, I would imagine.
Sorry, we're fanboys too, as we get a glimpse of them over our shoulder. But back to Tumb Rumba. The one thing that stands out, this horse, he doesn't run 2-turn miles very often. All those mile races are 1-turn miles. How different of that is a race?
It's very different, especially the complexion of the race at Churchill Downs and at Ellis Park. At Ellis Park, it's kind of
it's a turn and a half, right?
Yeah, it's like a turn and a half, but Churchill Downs going a mile is a true 1-turn mile. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Position is everything here at Del Mar on 1 mile. The first turn does come up pretty quick, so you don't want to get shuffled back out the gate. You definitely want to move forward. And he's a horse, Mike, that can lay up close, and I think his style is going to help him in that race.
Well, hello to you too, Forever Young. Just saying hi. It's a nice jacket. It's got $150 I could borrow. I might need to get another one. At any rate, let's go turf sprinting, shall we? As we've got Bear River on the track. 4 furlong work, 48-1. This runner for Keith DeSormo's coming off a win in the turf sprint at Kentucky Downs.
Yeah, and if you look at all his works, he's a pretty good workhorse. He either goes 47 and change, 48. So this is pretty typical of him. Looks like Jimmy Graham is going to be aboard for this race. And last race is 2 for 2, and his paid box course was 17-1 at Ellis Park and then 19-1 at Kentucky Downs in the turf sprint. So he's definitely in the best form of his life. Simon ran 103 Beyer last time winning.
His last 4 turf sprints, he's had 3 wins and 1 third-place finish. But yeah, he's obviously a pretty quick racehorse. He's got some size to him. He's built like a sprinter and obviously a good workhorse. Again, Jimmy keeping him out in the middle of the track here, but yeah, he's built like a tank. Look at that.
Yeah, he really is. And he's a horse, he's fast, but doesn't necessarily have to be in front. Even though at Kentucky Downs he was in front, at Ellis Park sat right off, and turf sprint always has a lot of speed in it. So that's nice that if you have tactical speed to have in your pocket, that you don't necessarily have to be one-dimensional. That is very, very key.
There's a look at Bear River for Keith DeSormo, putting in his final work earlier today at Churchill Downs. So he was just over our shoulder, but earlier Forever Young was on the track. We saw him making his way onto the track as he was getting some exercise in. Let's see exactly what he did, Simon.
Okay, I wouldn't think a whole lot right now. He's just galloping around the racetrack. And like I said, we've seen him a lot here the last, 18 months, 2 years in the U.S. And this is what they do. The Japanese, you can't compare the way they train to the way horses train here in the U.S. They gallop very slow. He might even have a workout, and some of the workouts they'll have will be like 3/8 and 39. So he's just stretching his legs, getting around the racetrack, and he's still behind us. He's watching himself. What's up? There you are.
Taking a look
at you.
Yeah.
What a cool horse.
I want to make sure he gets this. There he is, and there he was watching. Oh, he just walked away. He just stopped by to say hello.
I love his demeanor. He's just, you could see him galloping there, just cruising right along, and even walking here. It's just very, very laid back.
I love how we turn into tourists and we're like pulling out our camera phones.
Well, I loved how he was watching the video of him galloping. That's so the exercise rider. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Let's take a look at it again. He is one of the more fascinating horses in the world right now, just because of his accomplishment and what he's done everywhere. I mean, he brings his racetrack with him. It doesn't matter if he's going to Saudi Arabia or coming back to the U.S.
I mean, he's run 12 times, 9 wins and 3/3, banked $15 million and change. I mean, just a absolute stud. I mean, he's 4 years old. He won was third in the Dubai World Cup, won the Saudi Cup by a neck, and then was third in this race last year. I mean, that was a really good third to Sierra Leone and Fierceness.
That's him right there. Forever Young, making his way. He's been the star of the show today, as like you said, they're going to walk continuously, getting used to the paddock here. And this is the first time I've seen others with cameras. We have some people kind of trickling in to the walking ring here. This is the first time I've seen people out here in the morning other than our crew. So we've got those fans, people, industry insiders, connections making their way down here to Del Mar. Let's check in with Andy Biancone.
Well, Lenny Lou is going to hit the track for my dad and the team. She's walking in hand with Emma Peterson, who's been the Biancone team's latest hire. But Lenny Lou doing great so far. This is very typical for my dad's horses. They walk 30 minutes before they hit the track. So she's going to walk 30 minutes, go into her stall to have a little bathroom break, and then we'll hit the track. But today, just a very easy day. Going to let her get a view of the track. We're going to jog to the 3/8 and then just an easy mile gallop from there. But she's a very straightforward filly. Obviously, we went to Royal Ascot together, and she was an absolute pro. Just walking on the sidewalks of Newmarket, I was extremely impressed with her the whole way. But she's a very classy filly overall and a very fun one to work with.
I'm excited for this Lenny Lou work. This will be fun, as you can see in the saddle towel there. Juvenile Turf Sprint hopeful for the Biancone barn. And Andy Biancone. It's funny, you know, we put Andy to work here in the afternoons, but she leads a double life. She's an assistant trainer. She's a reporter. She's on the air and she's on the track. It's a lot of work. You had to give up your day job to work here.
Yeah, I know.
She didn't. So what does that say about Andy, and what does that say about you?
I think she's going to run an amateur race coming up soon.
Really?
Somewhere. I do believe. I need to confirm that with her, but I think she said in Maryland. I would love to personally like to see Andy ride.
Yep. Well, it's big in Europe. You know, they have
Stop. We need her on the show. Let's not give her any illusion that she's leaving. We need her here. We're going to take a break. When we return, we'll see Lenny Lou on the track. I think Forever Young's still going to be walking behind us. And Ben Tornado to go with your toast and avocado. We'll be back after this.
Was full count Felicia, never in doubt.
Coming down to the finish, First World War. Fort Washington on the outside. They're coming down to the line, and Goliad does it.
Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
A John Deere 3 Series tractor lets you tackle those bigger jobs with simple, intuitive controls that put the power in your hands and quick connect solutions to swap implements quickly with ease. From rotary cutter to rotary tiller to front loader. Take on all your property's biggest challenges. You just have to get in the seat. John Deere is the official partner of the Breeders' Cup World Championships.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
For centuries, the bond between horse and human has been forged in trust and hands-on care. Thoroughbred racing is combining that tradition with cutting-edge technology to raise our standards even higher. New investments in wearable biometrics, advanced imaging, and AI help optimize our safety programs.
That opening quarter mile was a quick one.
Every day, a commitment to improving their care. So win or lose, it's safety that runs first. To learn more, visit safetyrunsfirst.com.
Douglas trusts Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
I'm Douglas, and I'm from Chicago. I was looking for something specifically for my brain. That's when I chose Prevagen. And the confidence I've received from Prevagen allows me to continue to do those things that I love. I have been taking Prevagen for more than 9 years, and it really works for me.
Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years.
Lead over Ben Tornado. The two of them locked in battle, and Straight No Chaser joins the fray on the outside with 1 furlong to run. Ben Tornado and Straight No Chaser. These two coming down to the line together. Straight No Chaser and Ben Tornado. Straight No Chaser in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Ben Tornado was second, and then it was Mulligan.
We didn't have the classic that we do, we'd be talking about this rematch in the sprint. Ben Tornado and Straight No Chaser. As Ben Tornado hitting the track at Keeneland earlier today, working in 49-2. As we take a look under the cover of darkness, but we can still get a good look at the horse.
Yeah, and I think this is probably just what they wanted. On October 18th, his last work was a minute flat. It was a bullet work, best of 24 that day, so I think they just wanted something nice and cool. And his last race, I was there at Churchill Downs. He absolutely freaked. He was coming off a 10-month layoff where he did finish second in the Breeders' Cup. He won by 5 and ran 108 Bayer.
I mean, that was a massive number. I think a good job by Jose D'Angelo. Like I said, he hasn't run since the Breeders' Cup Sprint. I like the fact he picked a prep race in the middle of September, ran a massive number, got plenty of time to recover from that, not make any regression. So, you know, these sprinters, we see that a lot with them. They don't run often, but when they do, they give it their all. And then they need usually a little bit of time between races.
And I think off of that effort, if he would have ran him back and say a prep before the Breeders' Cup, I think he would have bounced to the moon off of that 108 Bayer. So to your point, Simon, I think the timing is absolutely perfect from that race on September 13th till Breeders' Cup Day.
Scott Hazelton, one of the hardest working men in showbiz, caught up with Jose D'Angelo after Ben Tornado's work.
Here with Jose D'Angelo as Ben Tornado puts in his work here at Keeneland Racecourse before heading to Del Mar. Watching him, didn't make a sound over the track. Jose, what did you catch him in here this morning at Keeneland?
You know, we was looking for an easy workout. We pushed him a little bit last weekend, working in company. So today just was easy workout, you know, to have a good fly on Monday and be ready over there. He's ready.
He's only had the one start this year. How have things gone this year? Was this part of the plan to get him started late in the fall, one race at Churchill, and then take him to the Breeders' Cup?
Yes, you know, like he had a huge campaign last year, starting at 2-year-old, going to Saudi Arabia, later Charlestown, Breeders' Cup. So we decided to give time off to him. But if you see his workouts, he was training like for 6 months, okay? So we was pointing to Breeders' Cup, just win one race before, because we know like the plan for next year, if everything flows good, gonna be strong for him, go to the Middle East and all the plans that we have. So that's why we gave to him one race, looking now Breeders' Cup, and hopefully everything's work.
He ran such a big race. He earned such a big Bayer speed figure at Churchill Downs. Did you see that take any effect on him whatsoever coming out of that race over in Louisville?
No, I'm sure like now the horse is better because if you see what we did with him, we worked strong 15 days before, pushing him, and later a easy workout because he worked at Saratoga to travel to Churchill, and he responds very well. So we did exactly the same. Gave some time of light training, making him happy, and now he's ready again.
You also got a very fast filly, and she's so spicy. How did her workout go yesterday?
She worked out amazing. She's a nice filly. I know that it's gonna be hard for her running against the colts and also against older horses, but she's very talented horse. I'm sure that she's gonna run hard Saturday over there.
How about the distance of 5 furlongs at Del Mar? Does that help her case?
I think helps. She's fast filly. We change a little the things with her, training her, because if you look on her, her last 3 races was 6.5 furlongs with up and downs at Kentucky Downs. That is probably more than 6.5 furlongs. She ran in Ascot 6 furlongs, and before. Everybody have the question about the 5.5 furlongs on the Mansell at Churchill, where Jose rode her perfectly and she had nice gallop out. So now I just was focused on put her speed that she have naturally. I don't have to do nothing, so that's why she just work out 3 furlongs to bring her happy and feel the speed over there.
So is it easier to get her ready for this type of race at this distance, I guess is what you've summed up here in stating how things have gone coming into this race?
Exactly. I think like gonna be easier for her. 5 furlongs on hard grounds there.
Good luck, and we cannot wait to see these horses campaigned and compete this weekend out at Del Mar.
Thank you.
Back at Keeneland, praying on track. You know, my dad helped pass the change in the law in Illinois back in the late 70s to allow racing on Easter, and my mom was mortified. And my dad said, don't worry, honey, there's more praying going on at the racetrack than any church in the country. Here's praying on track. I don't know if she's named after that, but that's what I'm going to say. Praying, working 4 furlongs in a swift 48-1.
You could see her head kind of cocked, too. It looked like she was wanting to lean out a little bit. There is 2 other horses in front of her, so she has to kind of, looks like a race here. She had to wait a little bit, come out. I don't think that Robbie Medina was expecting that, but nonetheless, it's going to go in 48 and change. Coming off 2 back-to-back victories, one the Prioress by 3.5 lengths, and then the TCA against 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this work was by design by any means, and they're asking her to finish. She just ran a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, the opening weekend at Keeneland at TCA, so this is a pretty good work. The time is reflective of one thing, but when you're getting company like that, horses, you know, take a little more out of their workout from that. But yeah, that was more like a race.
Yeah, especially this being her last work.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think, to your point, that was not by design with those other 2 horses in there. And I'm sure they were expecting something a little bit smoother without company.
Let's get back out to Scotty as he's standing by with Bobby Medina.
Well, here with Robbie Medina as praying tunes up for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. And how adventurous was that workout this morning at around 6 a.m.?
Well, I wanted her to go by herself, and she had 3 horses break off in front of her, about 4 or 5 lengths. And the good thing is this: she's a lot more settled. Earlier in the year, she would have hooked up with them right from the word go, and it would have been a disaster. But it worked out fine. She had a target. I had her 47.4 out, 1 minute and 4/5, and she came back good, and I was more than pleased with the work.
Watching her down the lane, weaving through horses, I mean, were you at all anxious watching that happen?
Not really, because she was settled. Like I said, she's going to have to, hopefully she doesn't have to weave too much at Del Mar, but she's a lot more patient now. So, like I said, sometimes those things could be a disaster, but today it was fine.
Is that why you take her out so early, because of just trying to keep her as settled as possible?
Yeah, she breezes, I think all her works have been at 6 o'clock, and I didn't want to upset her schedule or anything, so that's kind of, try to get her at the quietest point that I can. And when we walked down the track, it looked like just a handful of horses, and all of a sudden it was chaos.
How do you think, and I know that you can't predict this until you get out there, but how will she adapt to the change in scenery and everything that's going on once she arrives at Del Mar?
I think she'll adapt well, Scott. Looking at the weather, it looks like, we're going to have cool mornings, and she really likes that. I think she takes her track with her. That's fine. We just got to work with her in the paddock, and if she could just be composed, we'll be fine.
Have you seen any difference in her in the days since she won the TCA here at Keeneland?
She's even more settled than before. So that's what the one change, and she's held her weight and her coat, and she looks very good.
Appreciate the insight.
You got it, Scott. Thank you.
Excellent information there as we take a look at another contender in the mile here. There's a look at the Chad Brown trainee.
Program training.
Program trading.
Yeah, program.
Thank you for that.
Yep, you're welcome. Third off the layoff here for trainer Chad Brown, who wasn't present at Keeneland this morning to watch the work, but I'm sure he's got a full report here and working on the dirt. I mean, the blue cap on the outside, 5 for 9 lifetime, got a great record. Just coming up short the last couple of times, but Chad points for these races. This horse hasn't run the first part of the year. These are the races the back end he points for. I wouldn't be surprised if this horse is sitting on a big effort. Question is that big effort good enough?
Yeah, he is improving too. Back in August, he was coming off a 10-month layoff when he was second beating the neck up at Saratoga, and then he was second in the Turf Mile. He does like Del Mar. He's 1 for 1 here. He did win the Grade 1 Hollywood Derby back in 2023, so that's definitely a good thing that he has been over the turf course here before.
Can I just say one concern I have with program trading? I think we know what he is. I know it's a smallish resume, but I don't think he's any better at 5 than when he was at 3. I just think this is what he is.
And Simon made a good point, too. He's definitely going to have to go back to last year in 2024 when he was running that 102-100 bar. But even that, I think he's going to have to improve off of to compete in the Breeders' Cup Mile.
I think he's an excellent horse, and in the hands of anybody else, I don't know what he does, because Chad Brown is a master with these turf horses, especially ones that need time away. And he's very patient, 5 for 9 in the career. But I feel like I know what this horse's ceiling is. I feel like there's other horses in the Breeders' Cup, especially in the mile, where we don't know exactly where their ceiling is, or they have ceilings that are higher.
The problem is, too, he's never won at a mile. His wins are going a mile and a 16th, a mile and an 8th. So he's a type of horse you can make a case for that he actually wants to go further than a mile.
And there's a look at program trading. Let's get back out to Santa Anita. Bottle of Rouge on the track right now. Bottle of Rouge is on the inside. This is one of those works where it was under the cover of darkness, so some of you might just be looking. I'm just seeing dots at this point. So Bottle of Rouge and litmus test on the outside, Bottle of Rouge on the inside. I can't tell which one's in front at this point. Hopefully
this is for trainer Bob Baffert in the juvenile fillies, Bottle of Rouge. And a lot of pressure here, training for his wife Jill here. This was a really big win in the Del Mar Davidson. Emotional win. I remember Dave Weaver interviewing Jill after the race there. Massive, massive win for her, daughter of Vino Rosso.
So, Joe, which light is better to you, the steady light or the blinking light?
Probably the steady one. I can see a lot better.
Yeah, that's Bottle of Rouge on the inside, the gray. And finally, we get to see him pull up here. October the 19th, they went 5/8, or this filly went 5/8 in 59 and 2. Today, they're just finishing up together here. But as we've seen already, Bob's horses, he always gets a good work in them.
Yeah, they look really good, too. Actually, both of them, you can see they're in tandem going through the wire. Looks like they are going to go on and gallop on out pretty well.
Bottle of Rouge, I mean, I think she'll, as the ground gets a lot further, you can see that she's getting asked to finish up here, but her pedigree is to go long, and she's only been around one turn, so I think the further the better for her.
Got another Baffert runner, Citizen Bull, pointed for the Dirt Mile on the track as well. Let's take a look at Citizen Bull. And he's going to be working solo. And this was, once again, earlier today, obviously. It's this under the cover of darkness.
Yeah, your Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner last year, led the whole way. He's another one that likes it here at Del Mar. He has 3 wins from 4 starts. He's coming off a 5-length victory in the Share Belief here back on August 31st.
Kind of lost his way. They had to try the Triple Crown Trail. It didn't work out. I mean, he's, the Derby, the Santa Anita Derby, and coming back to a mile. Shared Belief was the setup race for him. Again, huge number, or good number, I should say, and then a nice break coming into the Breeders' Cup.
I think he hit his ceiling in the Bob Lewis. I think that's as good as Citizen Bull is. I think he's in the hands of a master in Bob Baffert, and that's why he's been as successful. But I think a lot of his success was just his precocity.
Well, I can remember for the work show on for Kentucky Derby. Remember he went that really sharp half mile and galloped out. It might have been a little too quick. And even today, you could see 1:10 and 4. That's pretty quick, just a week out from now.
Yeah, that's very, very quick.
He went like 45, right?
It
was
ran like
scorching.
Look at his running line. He was.
Yeah, I think he went 45 and change, 57 and 4.
I think Citizen Bull. He's a champion 2-year-old. He's an excellent horse. He is just a cut below the rest of these horses. That's why he's in the mile and he's not in the Classic, obviously. But he's a cut below the rest of the 3-year-olds. And Bob Baffert's going to get the most out of his horses. He excels at that. He's going to get more out of his horses than anybody else. But I think we've seen him get the most out of Citizen Bull every time he's gone to the track.
And I will say about Citizen Bull, I think this is his distance, going 1 mile. He is 2 for 2. Anything a little bit further, not that he can't get it done, but definitely better at 1 mile.
Now, Full Serrano is a very interesting horse. It's your Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile from a year ago. He was second in the Goodwood after blowing doors off in his return race here at Del Mar back in September. Should note, I don't know that the Goodwood was their ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and a repeat for Full Serrano. Here's another one of those works where we're just looking at a flashlight at this point. But he's an interesting one, and I don't know that we've seen the best that he has to give.
No, the Goodwood was a race to decide the Classic or the Dirt Mile, and I think it was an easy decision. If you look at his record, he's only been defeated twice in the U.S., once at a mile and an eighth, once at a mile and a quarter. He's undefeated at a mile. So the decision was made to come back here. This is where he belongs. He's a true miler.
Full Serrano finishing up in 58 6.
He's being axed pretty good here, too. I don't know if that was by design or not, but yeah, that is pretty quick. You could see him going out really good, too.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more on The Breakfast Show right after this.
City of Light, multiple Grade 1 winner, who posted 7 triple-digit buyers, stands to continue the legacy of his sire, Quality Road, with graded stakes winners, Menti, Chop Chop, and Formidable Man, sire of multiple Grade 1 winner and champion 2-year-old Fierceness. City of Light, a proven sire in the making, standing at Lane's End Farm.
Calling all, trillionaires, calling all, trillionaires.
Come and join a club that has rewards for everyone. I'm talking birthday perks, free daily game, and other stuff that's fun.
Designed for people who love thrills like me and her and him, and with a weekly bonus pack, our thrills are filled up to the brim. Can you thrill me?
Yeah, because it's will be. Like the most amount of pure glee that ya ever gonna get from rewards that start day one. So we're calling all, trillionaires, calling all. Trillionaires, calling all, trillionaires,
Calling all trillionaires. FanDuel Casino.
Elegance is an attitude.
FanDuel's Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup is presented by WinStar Farm and by Phasic Tipton.
Back here at Santa Anita, the 9 o'clock break has happened. The horses just passed me on the track, and we're going to be watching for 3 fillies working in this break. The first one is Tamara from the barn of Richard Mandela. Hall of Famer Mike Smith going to be in the irons there. We also have Seismic Beauty going postward. You guys can find her with the yellow helmet. And then look for the white helmet with Splendora, the last 2 horses, both from the barn of Bob Baffert. And that's what we've got going on in this 9 o'clock hour here at the Great Race Place.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Yeah, so we're going to have works from Splendora and Seismic Beauty. As you can see, the Bob Baffert runner out on the track. This is Seismic Beauty, who's warming up here and getting into the work.
Yeah, she's coming off 3 wins in a row. Her last win was in a Clement L. Hirsch here. Very, very impressive fashion. 110 buyer there, so she's definitely streaking into this race very, very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of the top choices here in this race, right? With the defection of Torpedo Anna. She's the best of the West, and that's the question for her. She's just been based out here on the West Coast. How's she going to stack up against some of these East Coast runners? It's basically, on paper, it's her versus Nitrogen. Obviously, there's a lot of other good horses in here with some big shots, but, I mean, Seismic Beauty, her record, she likes Del Mar, I mean, and she's got one way to go, and she's a very forwardly placed filly, and she's been really improving each and every race.
And that's why I think her advantage in the distaff is key, because I think she is probably the speed of the speed, and her having 2 wins from 3 starts on this track is definitely advantageous.
And I think we've noticed, as we sit here and talk about these horses, look at the past performances, have you noticed how many horses haven't raced since August or September? I think that's been a market change over the last 15, 20 years, right? They're coming in with 6-7 weeks rest. And
I feel like that's a market change over the last 4 years. I feel like it's gotten much more like distance preps, and they want to come in with that large rest. And before it was always, oh, we want 4 weeks out, 5 weeks out. But even the Derby, I mean, they moved that Oaklawn Derby, the Arkansas Derby back so people could get the 5 to 6 weeks. I mean,
and it makes a big difference too, because how many times have you seen horses the prep before, say the Breeders' Cup or Derby, they run their best race and they peak there instead of in the big race. So I think to your point, and good means they have switched up, whether it's training or backing away from races.
Yeah, I think in years past you wouldn't have gone Travers Classic. You would have put a race somewhere in September, October time.
Well, that was always the Pennsylvania Derby, right? It was Travers Pennsylvania Derby Classic back in the day. So we are definitely looking at changing times. And this is Tamara getting ready to roll for Richard Mandel. I'm sorry, rolling for Richard Mandel. She's an ultra-talented mare coming off of that win in the Chillingworth last time out. She was the winner of the Del Mar Debutante as a 2-year-old, lightly raced since, though.
Yeah, she's another one that likes Del Mar. From 3 starts, has 2 wins and 1 second. You could see she's cruising along very, very nicely. And yeah, that was a dominant victory last time out at Santa Anita on October 4th. You could see she's being axed pretty good. Her last work was in 101 flat, so I'm sure they wanted something a little bit more today, and they sure did get it. She's galloping out very, very strongly.
Nice gallop out from her. Let's take a look at Splendora now. There's another one she'll have to take on. This one for Bob Baffert. She was very good in the Tranquility Lake last time out, winning by 5 as she hits the track a little bit ago. Let's take a look.
Yeah, she's 3 for 3 here at Del Mar. Absolutely loves it here, and her last few works have been sizzling. She was 58-1, Bullet best of 48. Her last work on October 18th.
A nice filly here. I mean, always moving great. I mean, the rider has control here. She's pulling against the bridle and just doing everything right.
Yeah, this is right. Now, again, looking at her body language, kind of ears going back and forth, cruising very, very nicely.
As she finishes up here, Splendora with the workout here just moments ago. And she's going to be ultra tough. I don't know if she has the class that some of these other horses here have, but she is fast and she will be making a run.
And I like her coming back to 1 turn. I think 7/8 is good for her. I know she's been beaten a couple of times by Copian, but I like the setup here. I like the cut back to 7/8 for her.
Yeah, and you can see the rider, too, getting her way, way off the rail. I'm sure he's probably getting radioed in to slow down a little bit. And once you go to the outside there, he's going to start to slow it down a little bit.
Splendora working for Bob Baffert. He's coming in with a strong hand at the Breeders' Cup. As we're used to seeing him bring in a few, but I feel like he's got multiple contenders in several divisions this year, and they all look live.
I think 8, if I'm not mistaken. I think 8 total.
Yeah, and Splendora get a nice pat on the neck there from the exercise rider.
Doesn't even look like she's blowing that either.
She had plenty left pulling up, but you had to, who is that on her? Looks like, not sure.
I'm not guessing at exercise riders. That's Joe's job. That's what we brought.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it is.
All else fails, just say Abdul Al-Sagour. At any rate, we're going to continue looking at those works, but we've seen a number of horses on the track so far this morning. At Keeneland, they're very busy. At Churchill and at Santa Anita as well.
Yeah. Well, Forever Young, who came by, that's just so cool. Yeah, I know we talked about it earlier, but just his demeanor, and Simon alluded to the Japanese horses, how they walk them so much, and I like that, how you keep them relaxed. It's totally different than some American horses where you see once they get on the track, they're keyed up and they know they're ready to go, versus a horse like Forever Young. I mean, after he galloped, he just walked around here like he didn't even go out for a gallop earlier.
Let's get back out to Santa Anita right now with Michelle Yu.
Guys, I'm joined by Joe Moran. He told me he'd talk about his horse, but first I had to ease him into it. So, warm-up question. We're talking about the Classic. Who do you like?
I'm on the fierceness train. The horse that is fond of Del Mar, I think, is a big advantage. But I think this is one of the best Classic fields we've had in a long time, and just excited for a great race at the end of the day.
Want to go back to last year? That'll be a nice, easy segue. And your guys' success with my racehorse with Straight No Chaser. I mean, How did you manage the partners afterwards?
It was wild. I was sitting there with Nick Hines, and as much as we were going crazy celebrating the win, the first thought that went through my head, I said, how are we going to handle this? But we got it all under control, and it ended up being great. And just what a great victory for all the partners, the team, Dan Blacker. It was just an exceptional win.
All right, do you feel warmed up now?
I'm ready.
All right, Seismic Beauty just worked right now. She actually just jogged back by us. What were your thoughts?
She's the model of consistency when it comes to work. She just does it so easy every time. Never looks like she's going as fast as she does. Looks great in the flesh, and just super excited. I think she's one that can kind of do whatever you ask of her, but naturally she is just a free-flowing filly and uses that speed to her advantage. So, with a few of the defections, you kind of wanted to see her take on those challengers in the race for herself, but certainly not complaining.
I think we're talking about Torpedo Anna there as the main horse that deflected. How does that change the complexity of the race for her?
Well, I mean, I don't think you're going to take her out of her game. I think you're going to just try to get her out of the gate and let her get in that comfortable rhythm. Juan Hernandez knows her well, and just treat her like she's the best horse in the race, and hopefully she can prove that.
I saw Juan did not work her this time. Does he normally? I can't remember.
No, he usually doesn't. And Bob, right after we walked down, Juan Ochoa usually works her, and he said if Juan Hernandez is on there, she's going to go too fast, so keep her off him.
Well, I want to know what Bob was thinking up there, because he had a couple horses working, and usually he's on his mics talking to the riders. Was he happy when he was up there, or was he yelling? Yesterday he was yelling at me.
No, he seemed pretty calm today, so he seemed happy with how everything went, and as I said, she just kind of goes out there and does the same thing every week, which makes it easy to watch. I think she's a little more fond of Del Mar than the Santa Anita track, so excited to get her back to Del Mar.
Thanks for all the time, Joe.
No problem.
Joe Moran does an excellent job managing the partners with not only My Racehorse, but also Edge Racing as well, the other syndicate that they run. So excellent work from him. And yeah, they've got a couple of real live ones coming into the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, they really do, and that's such an advantage too. Talking about Bob, how he has all his horses at Santa Anita. It's just an hour and a half shift down here versus taking a flight from, say, back east or the Midwest to come here.
Yeah, I mean, it just underscores the different ways of doing it, right? Sovereignty, the leading home in the Classic, he came in way early, has some works here. Baffert elected not to work any horse here at Del Mar.
We've got Lawali, who's going in the juvenile fillies. She's on the track for Mark Glatt. She was the runner-up to Explorer in the Oak Leaf and third in the Del Mar Debutante. She is on screen somewhere. I was told on the inside. Inside of what? That's a great question because I can't see anything. But they'll come into focus in just a matter of moments.
I think she's in front because the horse on the outside is gray, if I'm not mistaken. Lawali's down on the inside. So
the whole screen is gray.
Yeah.
There's no light for Mike. Sorry about that. Yeah, it should be coming here. This was early. Went 101 and 4. Her last work was 1:03, so they probably just wanted something nice and easy. Probably a decent gallop out. She's another filly. I mean, her numbers aren't staggering. She ran a 76 buyer, finishing second last time out, but nonetheless has been on the improve after winning her first career start, then was third in the Grade 1 Del Mar Debutante here.
I mean, the problem on paper is she's faced Explorer twice and got beaten by her twice. She's faced Bottle of Rouge once, she got beaten by her, and she's got to face both those again. So, I mean, someone has to take a regression, and she has to make a progression.
Yeah, she's definitely going to have to improve in this race to be a factor.
But, hey, hope springs eternal with a 2-year-old in the barn. You never know, start to start, how much they take a step forward. Michelle, you caught up with Mark Glatt.
Joined right now by Mark Glatt, who sent out a pair of workers this morning. You can start with Lawali. I didn't get to see it.
I didn't see much either because it was pitch dark with a little bit of fog, but we saw the most important part, the last part of the work through the lane here and the gallop out, and I thought it was a really nice work. Couldn't be happier.
How do you kind of judge the juveniles and where they're advancing and at what point?
Well, I think, they're just improving with one start, from one start to the next so much that it's hard to say for sure, but my filly's been real consistent, gradually getting a little better, and hopefully she'll even take a bigger step up next week.
Now, despite the 7:45 break being an absolute crazy fast out here with horses working, I did get to see Dr. Venkman work. What were your thoughts of it?
Today he had kind of a tough work last week, and so I didn't want him to have such a tough work this week going in a week out. So he was by himself, and by himself generally just kind of goes through the motions, but I thought the finish was really, really pretty solid. But the gallop out was sensational, I thought. So I think he's ready.
Do you think the sprint's the perfect spot for him? He seems versatile, is why I ask.
He is. I mean, in the perfect world, 7 furlongs is probably his best distance. You know, I think he's quite capable at 6 furlongs. He's got to get a good post, which he hasn't done here of late.
1, 2.
Yeah, but he has won from the rail, so I'd like to be sitting in the 6, 7, 8 hole if we can, and so maybe we'll get lucky this time and to see where the dice fall.
Can we chat about his affinity for Del Mar as well? He seems to really like it down there.
He does, but he's a horse. I think he's been off the board once in his life. You know, he's very consistent. A couple of those races were his maiden in a first condition, so he does like it down there. I think it is an advantage because you know your horse likes it down there. Hopefully on some of the others, and we'll see. But he ran well at Churchill. Probably should have won that day. Had a tough trip from the rail. He ran well at Keeneland. So, you know, I don't know that the track surface makes a huge difference for him.
Do you feel like you have some redemption because of your narrow defeat a couple of years back with Dr. Scheibel?
I don't think you can think of it that way. You know, I mean, you had to bring that up. But no, I mean, redemption, no, it's a different year. It's a different horse. But I think it'd be nice to win one. And, you know, I think he's got a great shot.
Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Here's Touch of Destiny for Michael McCarthy, the undefeated colt from Uruguay. 6 for 6, pointed for the Dirt Mile.
I mean, the first time we're getting a look at him, for me, I mean, you have no clue, right? You don't know what to expect here with this horse next weekend. He's never had a start in the U.S. You know, and horses down there, they come with a big reputation. I think the Southern Hemisphere horses, they come here, everyone's a little high on them, expecting to do good things. So you just have to sit and wait. You don't know what's going to happen.
And he's only going a mile one time.
Yeah.
He did win by 5 lengths. It was a grade 3, but that wasn't Uruguay. And it's hard to knock him. He is 6 for 6. But to your point, Simon, you don't really know who he was running against. His workouts look good. He actually worked a mile on October 17th in 1:47.
I mean, of course, the best Uruguayan horse to come here was Invasor, right? For Gary McLaughlin. But, you know, those days of Passiana, Bayakoa, and all that consistently coming up are long gone. So you just don't know.
Well, Michael McCarthy has an inkling of what he's got, though, his Touch of Destiny, making a good appearance on the track this morning.
Yeah, is being urged right here to finish and is doing just that. Look, like visually, looks like he's finishing with a lot of interest. It looks like his momentum is going to let him gallop out pretty nice after.
I mean, he is winning against, regardless of who he's winning against, he's winning by 7 and 9 open lengths. If he really was good enough for the Breeders' Cup, those are running lines that you would expect of him just making mincemeat of the competition there.
And he's progressed from distances too. His first start was going 5.5, then he went 5, 5.5, 6.5, 7, a mile. So I mean, whatever's thrown at him, he's taking it in full force.
So there's a look at him getting the job done. Now he is Uruguay. Pardon my lack of geographical knowledge. Is Uruguay Southern Hemisphere or Northern Hemisphere?
Southern, I think.
So he's a Southern Hemisphere 3-year-old?
I believe so.
He's an August foal. So he turned 3 on June 1st. So he's a very young 3-year-old. He just turned 3. Very interesting. Let's take a look at Yellow Card in the Prevagen Turf Sprint. Prevagen Turf Sprint. Yellow Card, also from Michael McCarthy, just ran into Reef Runner down the hillside in the Eddie D.
Yeah, ran twice this summer, going 5/8 at Del Mar. Was second by a neck and a 2 other than. Then his next start, he did win that same condition. And, yeah, just missed by half a length in the Eddie D.
I mean, these types of horses, this is a grab bag, this race, because a lot of it is trip. How's it going to play out? And post position, right?
Post position is so key here at Del Mar. Oh,
2 key races, a mile on the dirt and 5 furlongs on the turf. Post position plays a big factor. You can, in essence, lose the race at the post position draw.
Yeah, if you draw anything, say 10 outwards, you have to have everything be pristine. You have to break not only good, but come over in good order, not shut anybody off and get DQ'd like we did see here this past summer. I mean, everything has to go your own way.
It was good to see Reef Runner redeem himself in the Eddie D after that DQ and the green flash.
Yes.
But yellow card was on the other side of that, finishing second in the Eddie D. And this was a colt really coming into his own, as he had tried stakes company a couple times back east at Saratoga and Kentucky Downs, and then coming here into California. Really good 3-race run at Del Mar and Santa Anita.
In a lot of these sprint races, they're won or lost by half a length, the head and neck. So, you know, you run the same race 10 times, you might get 10 different results.
Yeah, especially in a full field like that, going 5/8. And that's the difference between, say, 5/8 here at Del Mar versus 6.5 furlongs down the hill at Santa Anita, where post position, you honestly want to be outside.
Correct.
So let's go to Andy Biancone, who's aboard Lenny Lou, making her way to the track. Andy.
Lenny Lou making her way to the track. So far, so good. You see, I'm riding her not too short, not too long. Typically, I prefer my stirrups at a shorter level just because it gives me more leverage and I can stay out of their mouth. But as it's her first day, she's a 2-year-old. She can be a bit looky. I'm going to ride medium just in case she does do any left or right turns, which she shouldn't. She's a very straightforward horse. But we've got the metas on. We've got IFB in my ears. So Mike, Joe, Simon, be careful what you say and don't make me laugh because I'll be hearing you the entire time I'm galloping Lenny Lou.
I can't promise you that something stupid won't come out of Joe Talamo's mouth.
She shouldn't have said that.
I know, seriously. It's going to be a chuckle fest around the turn. We're going to take a break. I'm going to consult my joke book. Knock, knock. Who's there? Andy on Lenny Lou. We'll be back.
Quality Road, proving Lane's End's tried and true stallion-making tradition. Quality Road has sired multiple Eclipse Award and Grade 1 winners, including champion 2-year-old colt Corniche, champion 2-year-old filly Caledonia Road, champion 3-year-old filly Abel Tasman, Grade 1 winner Bleecker Street, and classic winner National Treasure. He's a leader of his generation. Quality Road, a stallion that stands above the rest.
Calling all, Thrillionaires, calling all, Thrillionaires.
Come and join a club that has rewards for everyone. I'm talking birthday perks, free daily game, and other stuff that's fun.
Designed for people who love thrills like me and her and him, and with a weekly bonus pack, our thrills are filled up to the brim. Can you thrill me?
Yeah, because this will be like the most amount of pure glee that ya ever gonna get from rewards that start day one. So we're calling all,
Thrillionaires, calling all. Thrillionaires, calling all, Thrillionaires,
Calling all Thrillionaires. FanDuel Casino.
Elegance is an attitude.
They came from across the globe, the world's champions.
An international affair.
Crossing oceans for finish lines. Flying from starting gates as champagne flowed. They took us all to the edge and became legends in the winner's circle. The world was here, and they brought everything they had with them.
That was a wow performance.
Grit defied odds. Long shots made history.
And a huge upset.
And we crowned 14 new champions from all over the globe. Del Mar was a world of luxury, grandeur, and unmatched excitement. Everything required for an experience that's always a breed apart.
the Breeders' Cup World Championship, live from Del Mar. For the third time, the Seaside Oval is proudly hosting the Breeders' Cup World Championships. 14 championship races with over $34 million in purses. Future Stars Friday, and we'll kick things off with the Juvenile Turf Sprint.
They're off. Magnum Force coming with a rush. Magnum Force has done it.
Magnum Force with a huge closing kick.
For a horse that had only won one race before, this is a huge step up.
Immersive, undefeated in 3 starts for Brad Cox.
Immersive is under a drive. She's got 3 lengths to make up, and she goes right on by at the 8th pole. Here is a champion, no doubt.
7th straight year that Brad Cox has had at least one Breeders' Cup win.
On the track is your 3 to 5 favorite, Lake Victoria.
She's got some tactical speed, definitely the horse to beat.
Lake Victoria's down on the inside and in behind a wall of horses, and here she comes as she swings up on the outside, and Lake Victoria goes right by to take the lead. She's just too good.
That was a wow performance. She keeps her unbeaten record intact.
Next up for us, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. You see Citizen Bull there, one of the longer shots here today at 13-1.
It is Citizen Bull that goes out to the early lead. Citizen Bull by 2. Citizen Bull and Martin Garcia to win.
You know what? He's really special. He reminds me a lot of American Pharoah. It's something like that.
So the final race of the day, the $1 million Juvenile Turf.
And they're into the stretch, and Dream On is the one to catch. And Orima Teese is coming too. The driving finish, and Orima Teese wins.
A 7th victory in this race for the trainer in Aidan O'Brien.
And now Aidan O'Brien ties Dean Wayne Lucas for the most Breeders' Cup wins.
Yes, with 20.
Since 1984, this event has gathered the best of the best from around the globe to compete on one stage. A part of what makes this year's Breeders' Cup so special is the record international participation. With 5 continents represented, the question is clear: who is the best in the world? Let's kick off Championship Saturday with a PNC Bank Filly and Mare Sprint.
And Frosted Dawn was off to a slow beginning with Sullivan Angel way behind. Sullivan Angel is passing horses on the far outside, and they're into the stretch. Oh, it's wide open. Soul of an Angel in a huge upset.
Soul of an Angel from last to first.
I'm super excited. I mean, I'm containing myself now, but wait till I get to the champagne room.
Cockburn comes in here today with an eye on the championship.
Perhaps the fastest horse in the world.
Irad Ortiz and Cockburn have a 4-length lead. Starlust is rallying up the rail, and they're getting to Cockburn now. Starlust comes from the clouds to win.
And they thoroughly deserve a Breeders' Cup trophy in their cabinet.
And Torpedo Anna begins to move away. This brilliant filly's going to take them all the way.
Was there ever any doubt for Vito Anna, the Oaks winner, a Breeders' Cup champion, perhaps the horse of the year?
When I was in the Marine Corps, I'd come out here every August, sit on the rail with my cooler, and now I'm here in the winter circle with a great horse.
How does it compare?
This is much better.
All right, Rebels Romance trying to win for the 2nd time, won in 2012.
Rebels Romance has built a big lead here. Rousham Park is cutting into it. Rebels Romance, a Breeders' Cup winner again.
He's such a joy to ride, and you know he's an international superstar. Obviously trying to save some ground early and then work out a trip from there.
Well, Kevin Attard giving the instructions to Flavian. He's on Moira. She's running this twice before. She was 5th 2 years ago.
Probably Canada's most popular racehorse.
Moira now moves up on the outside. They're coming to the finish, and it is Moira. Oh, Canada.
Today she just proved that she's the best turf horse in the world.
The racing manager and the trainer have told me it is going to be raucous, not if, but when Straight No Chaser wins the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Straight No Chaser and Ben Tornado. Straight No Chaser in the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
You better expand that winner's circle. 300 here, micro shares.
Straight No Chaser! Everybody, let's go!
More Than Looks trying to unwind from the back of the pack. More Than Looks coming, 10 Happy Rows on the inside. A wild finish that goes to More Than Looks.
Cherie DeVoe can now call herself a Breeders' Cup winning trainer.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Full Serrano has taken the lead. Full Serrano in the Dirt Mile.
On behalf of the Breeders' Cup, but especially Cody, that this trophy will fill your hearts as much as it has ours.
There is so much buzz surrounding the big one, the Breeders' Cup Classic, and particularly this year because of the international participation.
Look, you have the best horse in Europe, City of Troy.
City of Troy is to this Breeders' Cup what Lionel Messi was to the World Cup in Qatar.
Wow.
It's that big
That
of a deal.
puts it in perspective.
What is City of Troy going to do? We've never seen this horse on the dirt. But I think Fierceness has just taken his game to a way different level since the Kentucky Derby.
The Chad Brown trained Sierra Leone, second in the Kentucky Derby, perhaps a bit overlooked here in the Classic.
He is talented, and he has a good closing kick, but he again will have to run better than he ever has before in order to win.
So we got international flavor, 3 Japanese horses, some American superstars, and a European trying dirt for the first time.
They're off. City of Troy broke near the back of the pack. A big separation to Pyrenees and next. Another gap back to Sierra Leone. Around the far turn, Fierceness has taken over the lead. On the attack, Sierra Leone is revving up on the far outside as they come to the top of the stretch. Close to home, Sierra Leone does it in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Today was the day that he got it done.
Sierra Leone, second in the Kentucky Derby, behind no one today in the Classic.
He got the fastest pace in the history of the Breeders' Cup Classic, set up for him perfectly. What a kick this time by Sierra Leone.
Your winner, your champion here at Del Mar.
This fall, greatness returns to Del Mar, bringing with it everything that makes this a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and one you won't want to miss.
It's getting close. It's getting real close. There's a look at AG Bullet, Silver Bullets, as he makes his way onto the track for trainer Richie Baltus. He'll be one of the main contenders in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint.
Yeah, she was third in this race last year, Joe.
Yeah, and then beat boys this year, too, in the Jaipur at Grade 1 Jaipur at Saratoga by 2 lengths, and then won the ladies sprint at Kentucky Downs. She's probably in the best form of her career right now.
I like the way they repeated the pattern a little bit. Last year they went to Kentucky Downs, and then they went to the First Lady at Keeneland, and then the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Here, this year they've elected not to go to Keeneland, come in fresh. I think that's good. Most of her races have been at 6.5 or 6, even a mile. And I was kind of concerned at her 5/8 last year, Mike, but she sat off the pace and finished with a furious rush. She's a major contender.
So there have been 5 fillies or mares that have won the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. So out of the 17 runnings, almost a third of them have been won by the opposite sex. Of course, Misdirection doing it back-to-back years at Santa Anita.
Yeah, and she's going to break off here. Looks like Jose Valdivia is aboard her today. Going off really nice. Again, I like this transition right here. Has her ears straight up. Kind of looked like sweet As Tekka earlier.
As we check in with Joaquin Jaime.
Yeah, guys, she just broke off into her workout right now. The plan, Richard Baltus told me she's going to go a solo half-mile here on the grass. Joe was right. That is Jose Valdivia up aboard AG Bullet here, who did win a Breeders' Cup. Remember, Jose Valdivia won the mile aboard Val Royal. You look at her workouts for AG Bullet. Richie Baltus told me, look, she always works fast. I'm assuming she's going to work fast here again. We'll see how it plays out as she continues on in this half-mile drill.
So he's had 2 horses that are both grays that work very fast, but when you watch them work, Joe, they're very relaxed in the way they do it, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's going quick at all, which is perfect. She has her ears straight up, and you can look at her work pattern, too. I mean, her last 3, 58-1, 59, 59-4. So fitness-wise, and she's only going to, the race is 5/8. She doesn't need, a quick 5/8 and then gallop out 3/4 or 7/8. This is absolutely perfect.
See around the dogs there. Of course, they're going to be saving that turf course for the Breeders' Cup World Championship, so they have him in the outermost lane. But all systems go for AG Bullet, for Richie Baltas, as she's trying to get back to the winner's circle here at Del Mar, and doing so in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. She was the winner of the Oceanitas at age 3, and then she would parlay that into multiple stakes victories for 6 figures. As she's finishing up her work, well, a fan favorite here on the crew, Lenny Lou, is about to begin hers. As once again, we were quiet. We did not speak or make jokes, as Andy Biancone had work to do, and she could hear us the whole time. There's a look at Lenny Lou and Andy Biancone in the irons, getting this one ready for the Juvenile Turf Sprint.
You can see she's looking around. Look at her ears. I mean, they're up like 2 antennas. That's why Andy was riding a little bit longer today. Anytime a horse comes to a track for the first time, especially a 2-year-old, they're a little more aggressive in their new surrounding. 1, they've usually shipped. 2, they've usually had a day off after the ship, so they're fresh. And 3, it's new surroundings, so she's kind of taking everything, all that signage on the outside. Horses have a very weird field of vision. It's like 270 degrees. They see left and right, but the clarity is not that good. So, I mean, and directly in front of them, directly below them, they can't see. And directly behind them. That's why don't ever rush up behind a racehorse. That's why you get the old double barrel.
So what do we make here of Lenny Lou? She's ultra talented. She deserves to be here. How's this final work prior to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint look?
I mean, this is nice, just cruising out there. And you alluded to it. She has her ears. I don't think they could be more for her, just kind of taking in everything. And that's the difference between a filly. She's never been here at Del Mar, and especially for the Breeders' Cup when there's so much signage to wear on the outside versus a horse that has run not only in Del Mar but at a Breeders' Cup where they know they're going to look at all of that signage.
Yeah,
everywhere.
all that purple sign. I mean, it seems mundane to us, but to a horse that, you know, like a tree. For instance, they go to the track every day. If something new is placed in a position that they've never seen before, like a tractor or something, they'll spook from it.
Right.
But yeah, the exercise rider did a great job there, if she's listening.
Smooch to her, Andy.
Yeah.
Just see what happens.
Did you hear the one about the girl who rode a gray horse?
Andy Biancone. She is, she'll revisit that work in just a matter of moments. We'll also have the meta glasses because we'll have the first person perspective.
That's right.
Yeah, so we've got more from that coming up. Truly a treat to have Andy bring us that first person perspective from working a Breeders' Cup horse, getting ready for the World Championships. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more here on The Breakfast Show. Only about 25 minutes left before we wrap up day 2.
Welcome to the 2025 Keeneland September Yearling Sale, where history was made when Three Chimneys Gunrunner, the sire of 2025 Grade 1 winners Sierra Leone, Locked, and Brent, became the first horse in the history of the Keeneland September Sale to sire the session topper of each of the first 4 sessions. Among them was the $3.3 million sale topper, purchased by Peter Brent, MV Magner, and Winchell Thoroughbreds. Gunrunner, Breed Shaper, Dream Maker.
Keeneland November is where futures take root and legacies pass from one hand to the next. In the ring, excitement builds. A glance, a nod, a bid. History changes in an instant, and the impact lasts a lifetime. The market is here. The global stage is here. Your moment is here. Keeneland November.
Grabs the rebound, pushes it ahead, finds the open man, he puts it up, scores!
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, play your game.
elegance is an attitude.
Prince of Monaco's too good for Moose, an impressive winner of the best pal. Miramonti's all hot, but Prince of Monaco too good.
Prince of Monaco, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup as we are here at Del Mar. We are just 6 days away from the start of the Breeders' Cup World Championships. We've had a busy morning on the show. A lot of horses out on the track stretching their legs, getting ready to roll. We've seen some very talented runners and main contenders in a multitude of races.
Yeah, that's what's so fun about this show. Just about every single race we've been able to see horses work, and just can't wait for the final day to come.
Yeah, it's like, I mentioned it yesterday, basketball, football, it's like taking the top 5 players from every team and just putting them all in one spot for the weekend and watch them play and perform.
Right now, we're going to head back to Santa Anita. Michelle Yu standing by with a very special guest.
I'm here with Jill Baffert and her adorable but very frightened dog, Winnie. Is this her first time at the track?
First trip to the barn.
To the barn? Oh, she is so scared. Did you make it out in time to watch your horse work this morning?
I didn't, but I watched it on TV.
On FanDuel?
I think so, yes.
What were your thoughts?
I thought she looked really good. I thought they all looked good. Nisos looked awesome. Some of the competition looked awesome. Everybody looked really good.
I have such a dumb question. I thought Bottle of Rouge was for sure named after makeup, but I realized Vino Rosso. Is it just Bottle of Red?
It's Bottle of Red, but it's from a Harry Styles song. I love Harry Styles, and so I thought it checked both boxes. Yeah.
Today I had a light bulb moment. I'm like, it's Vino Rosso. It's probably named after wine. What did Bob tell you he was going to have Bottle of Rouge do today?
He didn't.
Doesn't he know happy wife, happy life, Jill?
He hasn't figured that out yet.
What's it been like to have this journey as an owner? Because you've been by Bob's side through all of these great wins, but now it's your name and your silks out there.
It's been really exciting. I've had some really awesome horses before, but just to have a baby and to feel like, it's a different feeling to feel like, oh my goodness, she may go on, and I know it's a long time between now and whenever, but it's been really exciting.
I love to see that. And when did we get this puppy?
We've had her about a month, so she's almost 4 months old.
And you've taken it this long to bring her to the barn?
Yeah, we've got to break her in. She's very cautious. Aww. Yeah, her name is Winnie, like a horse Winnie. Yeah.
Oh, she likes that. Okay, we talked to Jill. I see Bob over here. We're going to sneak away and see if we can talk to Bob really quick. Maybe I should bring Jill as reinforcement. Oh, he ran away from me. Where'd he go? Here he is. Oh, Bob, you got cupcakes for everybody. Bob, Jill said I could talk to you about how the morning went.
Come on, I'm trying to eat a cupcake here, Like
I'll hold it for you.
Dana Barnes brought us all cupcakes, She's the best cook. It went very smooth. I was very happy with all the works. The track was a little bit quicker at 6:30. They were bouncing over pretty well. Yeah, but everything went as planned, and so came back great. They look good. So now we just wrap them in what's it called?
Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. Yeah.
Who makes you more nervous? This group over here, Joe, or Tom Ryan, or the wife over there in the white jacket?
Right there in the white jacket, right there.
She's going to go over the game plan with Mike Smith. That's what Mike Smith's saying.
This week.
Well, I better hope that it continues.
See, I threatened her. If she's not nice to me, I says, I'm going to work your filly with Nisos. See, so she's been nice to me.
And that was nice. I'm sure she appreciated that, right? You worked her with another juvenile litmus test.
Yeah, they went. Yeah, I didn't want to do anything serious with them. They went a minute. They went nice and easy together, and so her filly wants to go 2 turns. She's been ready, and so she's not one that really will. She's not a great workhorse, but she likes company. And Litmus was just cruising there with her, and and Brant, he looked great yesterday, and so I mean everything looks look, I can't blame it on the works. The works went well, and so we just got to, ship them, keep them healthy and happy, and hope they get the trip.
I appreciate the time. And you got to look at this cupcake, by the way. Come close, because
red velvet.
this is a red velvet cupcake.
He does this for us.
But look at it has gold on top. These are little handmade succulents. Look it's a whole bouquet of flowers here. Dana Barnes, by the way, used to be the Gallop girl out here, and she rode, not a Gallop girl, sorry, the work rider, and she rode Midnight Lou, right?
The work rider.
Didn't she ride Midnight Lou?
She rode all the good ones, all the champions.
Good ones. Lots of champions, and now she makes cupcakes.
Aerogate.
Aerogate?
Aerogate. She was in Dubai with Aerogate. Even sent her with Secret Circle there by herself, and she went.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, Dana Barnes, traveling lady, cupcake extraordinaire.
Winnie?
Come for the breakfast show, stay for Ace of Cakes. Dana Barnes with the cupcake action. And I'm a big fan of Winnie. I hope we're going to see a little more of Winnie on the show this week.
I can't believe that was his first time to the barn.
Yeah. I figured they found the horse in the barns. Found the dog in the barns. That's probably what I was thinking about. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we return, we're going to have some more action. We'll check in with Andy Biancone, get the aftermath of the Lenny Lou gallop, and we'll also talk about the work of the day. We'll be back after this.
How fast is not this time's fastest son?
It is Cogburn to catch, 3/16 to go.
Cogburn fast.
No doubt about it, it is Cogburn.
He's running power play. Cogburn dominates the Jaipur in 59.80 seconds.
How fast is not this time's fastest son? Cogburn fast.
Calling all trillionaires. Come and join a club that has rewards for everyone. I'm talking birthday perks, free daily game, and other stuff that's fun.
Designed for people who love thrills like me and her and him, and with the weekly bonus back, our thrills are filled up to the brim.
So we're calling all trillionaires. Calling all trillionaires.
Calling all trillionaires. FanDuel Casino.
FanDuel held a shooting contest to promote its new MySpend tool. MySpend makes it easy to view your deposit and bet history all in one place. Because betting without knowing how much you're spending is like shooting in the dark. See the whole picture. Make FanDuel's MySpend tool part of your system and stop shooting in the dark.
You might take something for your heart. You might get support for your joints, or even use something for your digestion. So why wouldn't you take something for the most important part of you? Your brain. People all over the country take Prevagen for their brain. In fact, Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years. The most important supplement for the most important part of you. Try Prevagen for your brain today.
Welcome back. Have some horses from the Wesley Ward barn hitting the track at Keeneland earlier today. We're going to take a look at, starting with the juvenile turf horse Outfielder. Outfielder was a winner at Churchill. They went to Deauville and then came back with a win and allowance event at Keeneland. And this is a look at Outfielder stretching the legs over the Keeneland turf.
Yeah, last work was 50-1. Looks like he's clipping along pretty good there for Wesley Ward. I think that's Johnny Velasquez on him, it looks like. And then looks like he's striding along pretty good, breaking off there.
Yeah, this was looks to be a work with intent for sure. They're asking him early on in this work here. So, as we know, Wesley can put a lot of speed in horses, and he says that with his own admission. So they're asking for a good effort here.
Yeah, and a minute and two around the dogs. That's actually pretty good because they're way on the outside. You could see he's being pretty good. I'm sure they probably wanted a sharp work. That last work was 50-1.
It looks like he's trucking to me.
Yeah, they want a little more, and there's some give in the turf too. So this is a pretty good work there. You could see being right along there pretty good.
So Outfielder, he's entered in the juvenile turf, also cross-entered in the juvenile turf sprint. His stablemate, as we see him crossing the wire here and getting into the gallop out, the rider easing up on him a little bit. His stablemate Schwarzenegger also worked this morning for Wesley Ward. We'll take a look at the horse. I'm assuming they call him Arnie by the barn, or maybe Terminator. There's a look at Schwarzenegger, this Not This Time colt, who won the Indian Summer at Keeneland back on October 5th.
Yeah, first career start, opened up 6 at Saratoga and just got beat a neck, but they did pretty much the same thing last time, breaking his maiden in a stake at Keeneland by a half a length.
Yeah, he's a good racehorse. I mean, he's, again, built like a tank. Time here, 52-2.
Complete opposite of what we just saw.
Total opposite. And you can see they were asking the horse that we just saw. This one, the rider's got his foot on the brake pedal. He's just trying to take his foot off the brake pedal rather than hit the gas pedal here. So 52-2. I'll give you that range for half mile works. 46 is house. 52-2, 53 would be on the very slow side.
Yeah, this is definitely on the pedestrian side, and kind of the opposite of two worlds. Schwarzenegger had a bullet workout last time and now went really slow, and an outfielder had a slow work last time and then fast today. So it looks like they're kind of flip-flopping. But I will say there is, I know we've had some rain back in Kentucky before I came here, so you could see there's some give in it, but nonetheless, definitely pretty slow for a work like that.
So Schwarzenegger finishing up here. I have to tell you, I was expecting more muscles.
I'll be back.
Expecting a little more muscle. I'm expecting a quarter horse, really, is what I was looking at. How about No Nate Hudson, the other Wesley Ward that hit the turf course this morning? This is the turf sprinter, No Nate Hudson. He was out here a couple of times in the last 2 years for running the Green Flash. No Nate Hudson, you can see onto the track. He worked 5 furlongs, 102 and 4. As this horse, 5 for 19 lifetime. He's made over $500,000. I don't know that he's good enough to win the turf sprint, but he certainly deserves a shot.
Yeah, it's 0 for 2 here at Del Mar. Numbers definitely has to move forward. You could see 102 and 4. Another one, kind of pedestrian, but I think from the looks of it, Simon, they probably wanted that. You could see he's maybe wanting to get a little keen there, but still has his ears off, going along pretty nicely.
Yeah, and that's, Wesley Ward, the majority of his wins are going to be around one turn on either turf or dirt. He trains primarily sprinters. And they're all built like it, and they all kind of run the same way and train the same way. So I'm in agreement with Mike. I think he's got to step up a little bit. He's well traveled. I mean, this is a horse that barely runs the same racetrack in back-to-back starts. He's been all over the place. So he comes on for the nice win in the Arctic, sets him up for this weekend.
And when you look at his workout pattern, he's not a really flashy workhorse.
No.
A lot of them, like his last work was 50 flat, 104 and 1 prior to that. Actually, before he won the grade 2. So I think this is probably something that's normal for him, just not a flashy workhorse, which sometimes can be a benefit too. They'll last a lot longer. They're not blasting out there every single time they go out there.
So No Nate Hudson earlier today at Keeneland. So all 3 of these horses we just showed you on the turf, trained by Wesley Ward. Scott Hazelton caught up with Wesley just a bit ago.
Well, Wesley Ward with 3 turf workers this morning here at Keeneland. As far as Breeders' Cup horses, there were a pair of others that we could get a chance to see, or we'll get a chance to see as well on the undercard, Wesley. But let's start at the top. Schwarzenegger, how'd he go on the turf course?
Really good. The course today has a little give in it. They were kind of kicking it up a little bit, which I think when we get out to Del Mar, he's really going to like a firm turf to where he can kind of get out and utilize that speed he has.
Do you worry about the times at all when you're looking at these workouts on the outside portion of the turf course?
No, I kind of look at and see how he's moving. The boys that work him in the morning, Julio, and today it was Walter Rodriguez that breezed him, they kind of sit right back against him the first part to not let him get away from him, get too fast of a work right on top of a race, which he did a good job in doing that. And then down the lane, he kind of gave him his head, and he just kind of effortlessly kind of floated down there, which is what you want to see.
Outfielder's a horse that he's entered in the Bowman Mill today. Obviously, he's not racing. You cross pre-enter him in the turf sprint, juvenile turf sprint, as well as the juvenile turf, I should say. First of all, how did he work out here this morning on the turf course?
He worked really good. I told Johnny, I said, look, he's kind of a lazy horse. He's a big, kind of cold, kind of a lazy guy. You would notice that in his races, because when he gets kind of in the races with all the other horses in the gate, and the gate's open, and he's fired up, he kind of comes out of there running. But in the mornings, he's a real kind of easygoing guy, a little 105-pound guy gallops him every day. So I wanted to get him behind another horse, Monterey Bay. We broke him off about 10 or 15 lengths in front, so he'd have a sort of a target to look at. And Johnny was a bit surprised, and when I told him that he was kind of a easygoing, kind of a lazy guy, because the only time he knows him is when he's on him in the races, and away he goes. But he worked really good. I was very happy with him. We're going to stretch him out to a mile. I just didn't want to, of the two I have, Outfielder and Schwarzenegger, I felt my best chance would be Schwarzenegger going 5 furlongs. He's very, very fast, and that course down there is going to play fast in Del Mar. So we're going to stretch him out to a mile. We're going to get back to the barn here and talk to Johnny about how the work went. I was very happy with it. He kind of ran down a very good 3-year-old colt that I have that's going to go in one of the undercard races, and I was very happy with his workout today.
And then Nonay Hudson, how did he get over the turf here?
Good. He had an excellent workout last week and repeated again this week. It's a shame for Charlie O'Connor and his group of owners that are all excited for the Breeders' Cup, but we're on the bubble, so we're going to sort of see what's coming over from Europe and see if he can get in, because he's sitting on a big race as well.
So he's got a ship, obviously. So how do you figure this out between now and ship time to Del Mar?
Well, we're going to have to make that decision. There's another race out there, but it's not till the end of the month, so he'd sit out there for 3 weeks or 4 weeks until the next stake. So we'll have to get together with a group of owners and see if we want to risk going out there and kind of seeing if those other scratches. Everybody's coming from all over the world to run in these races, and things can happen with these horses, being they could get sick or something else. So if this guy wasn't doing as well as he is, we'd look for another option. But he looks like he'd have a big chance had he got in.
Appreciate the insight this morning, Wesley.
Thank you, Scott.
Right. I mean, there's the whole dynamic of traveling when you're on the outside of a field looking in, and you're going to need some defections to get in. We talk about how stressful it can be to be a trainer and a decision maker, a stable manager, but no more stressful time than Breeders' Cup, especially when you're right on the bubble.
And when you want to go, too. It's not like they're on the bubble, knowing they could get in. And to Wesley's point, they need to make a decision whether they want to come or not, and if they're on the also. And then do you keep the horse here for 3 more weeks and let him race at the end of the Del Mar meet, or ship right back?
Yeah, I'd take the gamble of coming.
You've got the Turf Festival races Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll
and you
find
don't
a
get
spot.
weather here.
Yeah.
Compared to back east, what's left of turf racing back east.
So very insightful interview. Scott Hazelton doing an excellent work out there at Keeneland. He always does. I don't know why I have to announce that. We come to expect it from Scotty. But Wesley Ward giving us a lot of information. I need information from you two. It is time for the work of the day. Simon Bray, we'll start with you. Who impressed you the most?
Well, I was impressed by Nisos, actually, just because of his history, lightly raced. He's had some breaks in his workouts. And to me, I thought this was very, very good. He's a horse that's, a neck away from being undefeated. The only horse that beat him was Mindframe, who's going to be a contender in the Classic. So I like this workout. This is 3/4 in 1:11. This is a sharp work, but again, you've got to take the trainer into context here, because Bob Baffert said earlier today, Bottle of Rouge, that group, they went 5/8 in a minute, just an easy workout. For some barns, that would be a fast workout. For him, that's just a maintenance work. So I like the way he gets over the ground. He's moving exceptionally well. Jill, when they asked her about how the horses work, this is one of the first things that came to mind for her with Nisos. So I think he's sitting on a good race. The layoff lines are a concern. There are some breaks in his work between the end of September, the middle of October, between the end of August and the middle of September. So, he's not an easy horse to train, but once you do get him right, I think he's very good. And I think he's coming into this weekend very, very good. Of course, I always say this as a former trainer, works are great. The most important part of a work is the next morning, because this all means nothing if they don't come out of it in good shape.
So Nisos, he's long on talent, pointed for that dirt mile, and we'll see exactly what he does come November 1st. Now, Joe, let's talk about your work of the day. Who impressed you the most?
This was tough, but I thought it was sweet As Tekka. She went 59-4. And one thing of note, Welfin Orantes is on her for the first time. And Richie Baltus was interviewed and saying he did not want to go too fast, that she can be kind of a filly that can get rank early. Her last word was actually 1:10.4. Sometimes they'll run races that fast, but I love the transition from when she broke off to the pony to right ear. She has her ears straight up. This 59.4 visually to me looked like a minute and change, even 101. I thought Welfin did an unbelievable job of getting her to settle really good, because a lot of her races, she's either in front or right off the lead. So I think that this is perfect for her to be able to kind of settle if there is a filly in front of her, or if she is in front, just to kind of settle and really get her to switch off a little bit. And one good thing about her too, she's 2 for 2 here at Del Mar. She's won the Rancho Bernardo 2 years in a row, and I just really visually love this effort here. Again, 59.4 visually to me looked more like a 101, and her working very quick last week. I think this is absolutely perfect what Richie Baltus was looking for.
I'll give Wilfred 4 stars too, as well as the horse, right?
I really thought he did a good job, and that's what to compare it. It would almost be like a Ford and a Ferrari. When you, even though two horses, say a maiden special weight horse and a stake horse can both work a minute, the feel is totally different, even though you're going the same speed. So hats off to him for doing a great job on a Breeders' Cup horse.
So sweet As Tekka, Joe Talamo's work of the day. Welfin Arantes, yeah, he was cool with it.
Yeah,
he was all good. Yeah, no, we're good, man. I will say this: I need the Los Al, the white Los Al vest.
That was cool.
I might drive up to Los Al and grab one for tonight, just for tomorrow's show, just to bust it out.
You could probably fit in his.
Yeah, I could fit it around my arm.
I mean, try it at least.
Let's check in with Joaquin.
Yeah, Mike, winding down show number 2, looking ahead to tomorrow for show number 3. And the Preakness winner, Journalism, he is expected to have his final breeze for the Breeders' Cup Classic coming up tomorrow here at Del Mar, roughly around 6:30 in the morning. If you looked at the scratches and changes today at Keeneland Racecourse, you'll notice a rider change for Jose Ortiz taking off that mount. The reason being is that is going to allow Jose Ortiz to get on a plane and come out here to Southern California and be at Del Mar later on this evening. He'll get a couple of hours of sleep, and then he's going to go ahead and get up early and breeze Journalism roughly around 6:30, dismount, and then hop on a plane once again and head back to Kentucky. So Mike, one of the stars of the show and one of the headliners at the Breeders' Cup, Journalism, he's going to be one of the first horses we see on breakfast at the Breeders' Cup early tomorrow morning. And Mike, keep an eye out right now. Journalism is heading to the paddock to school right behind you guys.
I've got my head on a swivel here. I had so much fun with Forever Young coming to say hello. Well, he's going to have to take on that horse right there, Journalism. I mean, in any other year, he could be a Triple Crown winner. Yeah. I mean, he really could.
I tell you what, I'm so excited, too, to watch him work tomorrow. And equally, I'm sure Jose Ortiz is, too. I know he's taken off a couple miles today and is going to try and ride to get back. But whether he does or not, I'm sure he's very excited just to get a feel for Journalism. Again, he's not going to go out there and try and blitz him, just get a good feel for him. And that has to make Michael McCarthy and the owners that much more confident, too, just to know that he's going to get somewhat of a feel for him moving forward for one of the biggest races in the world.
Yeah, gets a little test drive. Doesn't get to open the car up, as we say, but he gets a little test drive. And just as far as jockeys go, but just think about this. Jose Ortiz, one of the most successful riders in the country. He's flying all the way back just for a few mounts. I mean, Breeders' Cup week. I mean, he could possibly stay here, right, and just remain here the rest of the week. The fact I mean, I know he's going up to Carlsbad, getting on a private plane, but he doesn't want to lose his business, Joe. And you guys are like that because there's no contracts, and if you miss out on an opportunity, maybe he's riding a 2-year-old tomorrow that we could be sitting here next year talking about.
Yeah, you truly never know. That's why it's even hard to take time off as a jockey, and I know a lot of trainers are like that too because you truly don't know when your next big horse is going to be, and that's why it's 7 days a week and a lot of hours.
Yeah, Janet Jackson put it best. What have you done for me lately?
Yep.
At any rate, Jose Ortiz will be here tomorrow to work Journalism. Don't forget about the Rude and Riddle Breeders' Cup Draw Show on Monday, October 27th, as Rishi Prasad and Nick Luck making their way across the Atlantic. And they'll join Brittany Urton, Joaquin Hyman, Andy Biancone for the Draw Show. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We'll have post-position draw analysis, odds as they are revealed for all 14 Breeders' Cup Championship races. We're going to take a break. I think we're all done. And I think we got journalism walking right over our left shoulder here. Can we get this camera shot to say goodbye? Bye, journalism. We'll see you. As
so cool.
That was your Preakness winner just strolling on by. We're done. Thank you for joining us at Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup. We have the third episode tomorrow, bright and early, with one of the biggest works of the week as journalism and Jose Ortiz meet for the first time.